conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
My drains are clogged again. What should I do? Don't let those clogged drains scare you. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has a $79 drain and faucet diagnostic service special. We'll get you back in the flow. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Don't let a clogged drain ruin your day.
Oh no!
It's time for Gettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Our $80 drain clearing service diagnoses and clears clogs fast. That's GOETTL. Visit Gettle.com today. Contractor license RC 2821, RC 2822, RC 33972.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. You're listening to the home of the best coverage of your Arizona Cardinals and the NFL. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
History last night in professional sports. For just the second time, we had a father and a son play together in a professional sports environment, a modern professional sports environment. We're going to go to our graves saying we got to see both of those instances. The Griffies in the late 80s, Ken Sr., longtime Red, finished his career with the Mariners. His son, Junior, Ken Griffey Jr., who was a number 1 pick out of high school in Cincinnati. He was the star, really, coming up at that particular point. This time around, it was the complete opposite. LeBron James, one of the greatest players in the world in terms of the game of basketball, and now his son, Bronny James. Let's take a listen of how it all went down last night.
History tonight. The first father-son duo to play together in an NBA game. This is all in the family. And what a celebration for the James family. Bronny's brother and sister, his mom on hand, Savannah, Zuri, and Bryce sitting front row. Just amazing when you think about it. Take a step back. So impressive. Incredible story.
And just like his mom, you're sitting there watching your son and your husband play. It's got to be a dream come true for the entire James family to see this night happen.
Davis missed it. The follow won't go. Bronny James got a hand on it, but Gobert was there.
LeBron James Jr., Bronny James playing last night for the Los Angeles Lakers. So I'm from Cleveland, obviously. I have a very polarizing history of fandom with LeBron James, having covered him in high school back in the day when he was at St. Vincent, St. Mary, both in football and in basketball. And then he was obviously drafted number 1, the euphoria of one of the greatest players to ever come out of high school, NBA ready, to be drafted to the hometown team. I still remember the day I had gotten done umpiring a Little League baseball game, and I got in the car, and it was lottery night, and the balls came as we all anticipated that they probably were going to come in Cleveland's favor. And I just remember the euphoria. People were driving down this highway. We were honking our horns. I mean, it was as festive a day as you would have found in modern northeastern Ohio until the day some 20, whatever, maybe was it 2004? So some 12 years later, when LeBron, after his first stint, left, the vitriol and hatred and angriness that was surrounding that decision by the young man to go to Miami and play for another franchise, then him coming back to Northeast Ohio, leading the Cavaliers to a championship in 2006, down 3-1. I've told the story before. I was anchoring that night at Channel 13, and I told him, pull up the shot. I said, at the end of the newscast, I said, pull up the shot from downtown Cleveland. And, you know, the emotion that overcame me that night, seeing your hometown team who had so much frustration in every sport, be it football, be it basketball, be it baseball, of never having won a championship, to finally see that night happen for your city was just an unbelievable moment for me. So I haven't always liked the things and the ways that LeBron James has handled his business in the NBA, but for this young man to have this honor with his son, I know there's a lot of people that have a lot of different feelings about it. Oh, it was orchestrated. Well, you know what? In sports, there's been a lot of guys who have orchestrated their sons into positions, especially in this realm, behind the microphone. I mean, I could give you a laundry list of guys who orchestrated their sons into broadcast positions. I mean, Joe Buck is where Joe Buck is because of his dad, Jack Buck. Joe Buck is not Jack Buck, or not where he is without Jack Buck. Tom Brenneman is not where he was before he made a stupid flub without his dad, Marty Brenneman. I mean, there's a ton of stories we could talk about this in sports. It happens all the time. The time. So I got no problem with the way that this went down. Congratulations to the James family and then the daughter's 10th birthday happening on the same day. You're the best player in the game. You started your career out of high school. You married your high school sweetheart, and now you got a chance to play long enough to see your son line up next to you. It was a pretty cool moment, I believe.
You don't want to do U.S. presidents in that list of fathers and sons?
Exactly.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for her, right? 10th birthday on the day that obviously all the attention was on them. There's not really much more to say. We covered LeBron passing the all-time scoring record last year. His longevity speaks for itself. I found it curious that he passed Kobe last night for the most misses for any player in the history. You want to talk about longevity, guys? Most field goals missed by any player in the history of the NBA. LeBron took that career record over last night on the same night that he and his son played together. Orchestrated or not, I think it was 2 years ago we first heard LeBron say that his stated goal, was to not retire until he played a game with his son, right? And that started this whole conversation when I think Bronny was a sophomore in high school.
Yep.
So, you know, say what you will, there are 450 players on NBA rosters, and Bronny James is one of them. Whether or not he's on an NBA roster 5 years from now is up to him. They decided to draft him, obviously, so they could have that moment last night. How much he can contribute to that team, we'll see how much PT he gets going forward. We know that last night they just wanted to kind of get it out of the way. So they had that moment where LeBron and Bronny played together. Moving forward, I don't think Bronny's going to be much in that rotation. It'll probably be down to the G League more than anything.
Yeah, it probably for the benefit to him, because I think the biggest thing, like the two things to take away from that. First thing was Anthony Davis's postgame comments that he has. Like, it's probably one of the first big LeBron moments we've had since I've been here where we actually won the game.
Yeah, they lost when he passed when he passed through the all-time scoring. They lost that game. Yeah.
So that's the first thing that comes to mind is like, man, for every major LeBron moment he's had, I wonder how many of them have come on the back of a win besides his NBA championships, obviously. But the other part to that is on the box score of the the NBA Insiders broadcast where they showed the box score of all of the biggest contributors to the game, they had to put up Bronny James played 3 minutes. That was the only statistic connected to his name. That, to me, is a disservice to the young man because that doesn't help him. That just makes it look like, oh, so we're talking about how many minutes. That's like similar to putting up Lonzo Ball having a triple single, having 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Like, oh, he had 2 more points than I did, and I'm sitting here 15,000 miles away from where he played. I mean, at that point, don't make it more than what it is. If Bronny needs time to develop, let him go down the G League and develop.
It's just vicarious hate because, like, so many people have, you just said it, DK. There was a time when you loved LeBron, hometown kid, drafted by the Cavs. He's going to do big things. Hey, decision. I'm leaving. I'm going, taking my talents to South Beach. And then I'm sure the next day, DK, you were not super big. I mean, we all saw the videos of jersey burnings and all that happened around Cleveland. Coming back, winning that town their first championship, all those things. There's a lot of people who have, say what you want. LeBron is polarizing. He's also never had a major scandal. So you just said it, married his high school sweetheart, all those things. High school buddy is now, one of the biggest talent managers in the entire league. All of those stories that came from LeBron's success as an athlete. I just think any story you read about Bronny is quite an easy way to take a shot at LeBron himself without, quotes, saying his name, because maybe they're like, if you're a beat writer for a team and you say LeBron this, LeBron that, LeBron, next time he comes to town, he may drop 40 and 18 on you, that type of thing. Bronny's just an easy target.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. That was the one big piece of news that came out of Los Angeles last night. The other was the passing of the great Fernando Valenzuela, pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, at the height of when he arrived, the biggest Mexican sports star on the planet. There was nothing like Fernando Mania. Unfortunately, I had just left Los Angeles when Fernando got up to the big leagues in 1981, but he's still at the time a big LA Dodgers fan as a kid, and I talked about that a little bit a couple of days ago, and just watching and reading about what he was doing and then talking to all my friends on the phone still back in LA and just the way that they were talking about it, because that's what you did. You kind of picked up a phone and you actually had to dial it back in 1981 if you wanted to talk to your friends in another part of the country. But you had
to press 1, too,
yeah,
first
you had to press 1 before you did that. At the tone, the time will be. Yeah, it's when you used to call up and have to find out what the time was, too. But just an unbelievable talent in 1981. Came up 8 straight complete games, 5 shutouts. And the thing about it wasn't, I mean, if you go back and look at the numbers, I mean, it wasn't like he was out there, quote, dominating. I mean, he had several 10 strikeout games, but I think it was like he pitched in those 8 games, he pitched, I believe, 72 innings. He gave up like 50 hits and walked like 17 guys. So, I mean, there were base runners. He just was as clutch a pitcher and with guys on base as you were going to find during that stretch. There was a lot of traffic, as they like to say, but that traffic did not too much of that traffic came around to score, because during that stretch he only gave up 4 earned runs in those 8 starts, maybe the greatest 8-start stretch in the history of Major League Baseball for a 20-year-old rookie out of Sonora, Mexico. Just a true legend of Los Angeles, folk hero, and sad that at the age of just 63, it's amazing. Like you think about that at the time. I mean, I was 81, so 1981 season, I was 13 years old, and to think that he's only 6 years older than me. I mean, I was a teenager. He was a teenager. Literally just getting out of his teens at the time. I was thinking when I saw that, I was like, oh, he's probably in his 70s. Not really remembering how young he was at the time, and to lose him at 63. He had a number of illnesses over the last few years. But, I mean, if you're a Dodger fan and you grew up in that era, I just want to hear from you today. 520-848-1290 to see him pitch and to see his career arc We'll get into it a little bit later as well. We'll play some highlights, but just a phenomenal talent and an absolute hero in the Mexican community.
First and only player to win Cy Young and Rookie of the Year in his first year. And that year you mentioned, DK, he did lead the league in complete games, in innings pitched, and in strikeouts in that rookie season.
And the Dodgers beat the Yankees.
They did, and that's why it's so interesting that this is what we're talking about today because, what was it, 84 was the last time they played again,
81.
right?
This series, the 81 series was the last time they played each other in the World Series.
There you go.
Was that year that Fernando, he pitched a complete game in Game 3, won it 5-4 on the way to, again, the Dodgers taking that series.
I was a little too young,
Fernando Mania.
A little too young in 81 to really appreciate what was going on. But, I mean, all I heard about for all throughout my childhood growing up was Fernando Mania and what that experience was like, especially for the Mexican community in Los Angeles because, and he wasn't even, meant to be the opening day starter. But the guy who was meant to start had pulled his hammy or something in warm-ups before the first game. And that led to Fernando Mania getting underway in Game 1.
Absolutely. So love to hear your thoughts on Fernando Valenzuela today at 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290, passing away after a battle with liver cancer. Had been a longtime Dodgers broadcaster as well. And obviously his death coming on the precipice, on the eve of the World Series, the 2024 World Series, where his Dodgers will play the New York Yankees. A lot to get into today. We're going to talk to Desiree Reed-Francois. Coming up next, cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Crash reported Country Club near Los Reales on Country Club to the north of Los Reales. Country Club north of Glen, collision that's mostly off on private property. Also road work continuing Country Club in Glen for southbound Country Club approaching and passing Glen. Highs at 94 tomorrow, 96 Friday, 99. This weekend in 98 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by KFC. Introducing new KFC Original Recipe Tenders, made with their secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. These tenders are so flavorful, they'll start a chicken tenders battle. Get 3 tenders, fries, and new comeback sauce for just $5. Only at KFC.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. I really thought that I would start today with the father-son history that was made in the NBA. Little did I know, everyone's daddy was about to swoop in and rip the headline away from LeBron. The undefeated, two-time Super Bowl defending champ, Kansas City Chiefs. DeAndre Hopkins is headed to KC in exchange for a fifth-round pick that might ultimately become a fourth-round pick. It's just the latest major trade involving a major wide receiver. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not saying that Nuke is what he used to be, but they don't need him to be. He may not be what he used to be, but he's probably better than what they already have, and they didn't really give up that much to get him anyway. So what they get is a rejuvenated Nuke, another target for Patrick, a guy who's going to make everybody else around him better, and again, he doesn't come at nearly as high a price as Cooper Kupp. It wasn't a matter of if they would add a receiver, just a matter of whom. Football season is heating up, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action while watching football. The app is so simple to use. Just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 100 times your money. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code ROME, R-O-M-E, and get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states where it's lawful to wager. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290.
From the O'Reilly Show.
He is the number to get in on the program. Shh, cricket. Shh. It's my turn here. Let's talk some Arizona athletics here with the athletics director over at the U, Desiree Reed-Francois, joins us. Just completed her first homecoming weekend, desert bound, as it was tabbed by the university. How did homecoming go, Desiree?
David, it's good to hear from you. Well, I think the festivities went really, really well. And so, I mean, the bonfire was so outstanding. And it's actually not my first homecoming. And I'm a graduate, so I've been to a couple, but it's my first since I've been back in this role. And, man, I just love the pageantry. I love the energy, the vibrancy, and that bonfire was exceptional.
It was actually a perfect night for a bonfire because it got a little bit chilly there towards the end of the day on Friday. So we were doing the showdown on University Boulevard, and I said I might have to walk over to the bonfire just to warm up a little bit because we were kind of cold down there when those clouds came in on Friday. Gonna be speaking of the weather, it's going to be dramatically different this Saturday than it was last Saturday. We're going to be back in the 90s for a daytime affair this Saturday.
It's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. And, it's funny you say that my husband went to go walk the dog this morning, and he came and he's like, I need to put a sweatshirt on. And I was like, goodness gracious, this time last year we were in Missouri, and it was like 38. You're okay.
So obviously you
He's
mentioned.
probably going to be like, why would you tell people that?
There you go. Obviously, you mentioned the festivities were awesome. The football game did not go as well as we would have liked, and the team has kind of hit a little bit of a downslide here. And I'm sure you hear the noise. There's a lot of noise around the program in this first year of Brent Brennan, with the state of it, what the future of it is. How do you navigate all of that as an athletics director, and particularly an athletics director who's in their first year at a school?
Well, first of all, people care. And when you care and, you have high expectations, you want to win every single game. And I am very confident that everybody on that football team, they also want to win every single game. Those young men are working so incredibly hard. Our coaches are, our staff is, and no one wants to win, wants to work harder for this great university than the people in the football program. So our job is to support them and help them as we continue to assess, what's working, what's not, and that's top to bottom. What can we do better in every single area? Whether it's looking at our injuries, and we had our team doctor go and analyze injuries and figure out what can we do better. We're going to look at the fan experience. I know the sound, we've talked about it before, the sound isn't where it needs to be. So this is we constantly want to improve, but we also are about to go into a really big recruiting period, and we still have a lot of football left to play. We have 5 more games left to play, and so we're going to support our program. And these young men, I wish you could get to know them. They are so special. And I have one just anecdote. Brett and I were just talking earlier. I did a TED Talk last Friday, which is like the most nerve-wracking thing ever to do. I've given a few speeches, but like never a TED Talk. There's all these eminent like scientists, and it was like, and then here's the athletic director, and you're like, what in this picture does not belong? But I thought about what I cared about, and I care about belonging and connection and and scar tissue. But what personified to me leadership was Noah Fafita. That young man, I've only been here 6 months, but what I have seen out of that young man, for example, he only wants to be in press conferences after losses. After wins, he doesn't want to be the person up there. He wants his teammates to be up there. But after losses, he wants to be the guy speaking. You don't get that from a lot of 20-year-old young people. Like, this is a young person who goes out of his way to make people feel seen, make people feel a sense of belonging. And so that's why we need to have our fan base out supporting the Wildcats. It's not just about the wins and losses. It's about coming together. These young men are giving everything to this program and this university. So I genuinely hope people are going to come out and show how much they care about these young people, because I know how much these young people care about Tucson.
Desiree Reed-Francois, the athletics director at the University of Arizona, is our guest. Desiree, you mentioned, getting to know some of these kids and these players, and obviously we got a little bit of a personal story this week with Quali Connolly, whose mom's dealing with breast cancer, and that's going to be a focal point of this weekend's game, breast cancer awareness, and it traditionally is around the game of football in the month of October. Do you have any connections, people that have dealt with cancer in your life that have been very instrumental in who you are as a person?
Oh, boy, that one was a hard one. I wasn't expecting that question. But yes, my aunt died of breast cancer, and my mother died on April 7th of 2020 of pancreatic cancer. And actually at lunch today, I had a group of 5 student athletes, and we were just talking about getting to know one another and talking about ways that we can continue to improve their experience. But I started thinking about my mother during our conversation, and on April 7th of 2021, a year after she passed away, I got a chance to go over to Tuscaloosa and spend the day with Coach Saban. And I remember, I took 70 pages of notes on leadership But really what I most remember about that day is, we were talking just about exactly this topic, and his compassion for it being a year after my mom passed away was something I'll never forget. So, this is a business about people, and we care about people, and that's what I love about my job.
Was that a group, like a think tank kind of thing, or was that a one-on-one situation? Just you had an opportunity to go and have an audience with Coach Saban?
Oh gosh, this is a longer story, but it was so random. I'm on this National Coalition for Minority Football Coaches board. I really admire Coach Saban's leadership. I was the athletic director at UNLV at the time, and I just wrote a note he was on this board, and I just wrote a note and asked if I could ever come shadow him, because I read that like other coaches have done that, and I thought I would just want to learn as a leader from him. And so his assistant, Miss Linda, said, if you can get here on April 7th of 2021, which was like 4 days later, then Coach Saban said that you can come and spend the day with him. So wow. I just flew out there and got to spend from like 6 a.m. all the way till about 9 p.m. And it was, like I said, one of the best leadership experiences I've ever had.
We're chatting with Desiree Reed-Francois. She is the athletics director here at the University of Arizona. And now, Desiree, I know you didn't necessarily hire Barry Odom at UNLV. He was gone then. But I'm curious, are there things that you put in place there during your time that you believe has led to what we're seeing with that program, that football program, and the success that they're now having, that are maybe some things that you put in place to get Missouri kind of going, that maybe we'll begin to see here at Arizona to get our football program maybe on a very high and consistently winning level?
You know what? I can't take any credit for anything that anybody else has done. It's always a team effort. And I'm really proud of Coach Odom and what he's been able to do, at Allegiant Stadium and in the new football building. And it's Coach Odom's, I know him a little bit and really hold him in high regard. As it relates to Missouri, I talk with Coach Drinkowitz an awful lot, and again, hold him in very high regard. He's done a phenomenal job. He's really a modern coach. And what I mean by that is he, rather than bemoan NIL, we thought, how can we use this as a competitive advantage? How can we, while everybody is complaining, and we all know, like, through chaos comes opportunity. So how do we take this chaos and use it as an advantage in the most competitive conference, or what was the most, anyway, Southeastern Conference? And the Big 12 is incredibly competitive as well. And so we looked at NIL and we thought, how can we work with our legislators and how can we have a favorable situation? And so that's what we did. We worked with our legislators, created a law, and it was pretty successful. And the Cotton Bowl resulted. And the Cotton Bowl didn't result just because of the law. I want to be clear. Right. Coach Drinkowitz is an exceptional coach, and the way he recruited and the way he built a culture, we just had to look at things a little differently and a little innovatively.
I'm sure they've told you about the Territorial Cup Series trophy, the competition we have with ASU in all sports that culminates at the end of the year with one side, whoever has the most points winning. We have another big Territorial Cup Series matchup coming up at McHale Center tomorrow night for the volleyball team. Are you in tune with how important it is that we beat ASU in all sports?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, man. I'm a 1997 graduate, of course. And, I was on if you spend any time with Chuck Cecil, it is if you ever want to be fired up about ASU and like how important it is to beat ASU in absolutely everything, spend some time with Chuck Cecil because he will fire you up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing volleyball is hosting ASU tomorrow night. And it's going to be a great match. I was just meeting with a volleyball recruit right before we got on this call, and she was fired up. And, we beat Houston last week 3-1, and our freshmen Avery Scroggins was named Big 12 Rookie of the Week.
Yes.
And that's the second time she's won this award. So we're going to give them a really good match. And heck yes, it is important to beat ASU in everything.
She's going to be following you. She's coming up next with us in our next segment here. Real quick question.
Oh, you are going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
She is a phenomenal young lady.
Yeah, we've had a chance to kind of just talk off the cuff once, so that was a really, really impressed with her for sure. Curious, obviously, we've got the election coming up, and I know in the past they let the student athletes have that day off to vote. Are you guys, is anything like that in the works for this year?
You know what? I need to talk with my student athlete leadership group. I am not really sure. I know that many conferences, that was a conference dictate. And so I can only speak to kind of how we handle it in the Southeastern Conference. I don't know what the Big 12 expectations are. So I look forward to learning. Again, I'm 6.5 months into the job, so I can't pretend to know it all.
And in terms of that, like, what is this time of the year like for you? I mean, in terms of what you're doing on a daily basis, like, what are the important things that you have to deal with right now during the fall part of the calendar?
Well, this is our awesome crossover season. And so I'm on, I think, like day 42 of straight events, whether it is, the bonfire, TED Talks, presentations, dinners with corporate sponsors, dinners with donors, basketball games. Like, how fun was that exhibition on Monday night? And I'm looking forward to next Monday's exhibition. And then it's women's basketball hosts like West Texas A&M on Friday. So this is that wonderful time of year where you get to see all of your student athletes' hard work, your coaches' strategies and recruiting put into action, and you get to see a community come together in support of the Wildcats, and that's what I love.
Yeah, we like to call this the month we don't get any sleep, because we have so many pregame shows and postgame shows from football and basketball that there's very little sleep that happens in November.
Okay, but here's the cool thing that I love, though, about Tucson is not only is it a great foodie town, but the coffee places here are phenomenal.
See, I'm not a coffee drinker though. What's your favorite?
But maybe. Okay, well, I really like Rage and Sage. I was there this morning.
Rage and Sage.
I think it's fantastic. Yep, love it. And then there's I like to try new coffee places, and Tucson has some incredible ones.
Did you tell Jackson next time he gets in, he's got to shoot the ball?
You know what? He got a rebound. He was very excited.
There you go. He statted up. That's all that matters. He's in the stat book. Love it. Hey, Desiree, we always appreciate an opportunity to chat with you, and we look forward to doing it again next week.
David, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
All right. Desiree Reed-Francois, the athletics director at the University of Arizona. We're going to talk, like we mentioned there, with Avery Scoggins. She is the Rookie of the Week for a second time in the Big 12 for volleyball, and the ladies have a huge Territorial Cup match coming up tomorrow night against ASU. ASU got the best of the Cats 3-1 a few weeks ago in Tempe. Time for some payback. Rita wants 4,700 plus tomorrow night at McHale Center. So get out, get your tickets, get down to McHale and support those ladies. Right now, Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives, as she does with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Valencia near Oak Tree Drive. Earlier collision occurred there and still a closure in effect. The westbound lanes, westbound Valencia approaching Oak Tree Drive is closed. A lot of backups on westbound Valencia approaching Midvale Park. Earlier crash on Country Club north of Los Reales. And I'm Cricket and your weather. Looking at highs tomorrow around 94, 96 Friday, 99. This weekend, and currently it is 97 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Escape the ordinary and indulge in a world of excitement at Park Place Mall. Discover endless possibilities with over 100 stores, restaurants, and entertainment options. Join them for the monthly Kids Club, Yappy Hour, and seasonal events. From fashion to food, it's all at Park Place Mall, where you belong.
Tune into Wildcats Radio 1290 weekly for Brett Brennan's football press conference, where you can catch up on all things Arizona football this season. Sponsored by Coors Light. Choose chill. Official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
Arizona football fans, your Wildcats are back in action at Arizona Stadium this Saturday for Parents Weekend as they take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. Kickoff is scheduled for 4 p.m. Remaining ticket inventory is limited, so get your tickets now. Call the ticket office at 520-621-CATS. That's 520-621-CATS. Or visit ArizonaWildcats.com/FB and grab your tickets today. Bear down.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Hi, I'm Kathy Bates. People sometimes ask what I've learned in my 2-time battle with cancer. One is that with the right treatment, you can beat it. 2 is that it's not just cancer you're battling. You also need to anticipate LE, lymphedema, a disease that can leave those who undergo cancer treatment with a lifetime of swelling and pain. If you're facing a cancer diagnosis, discuss lymphedema with your doctor. With knowledge and action, we can learn and live. Learn more at lymphaticnetwork.org.
It's 4 a.m. and you're sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. If you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. I got to hand it to LeBron because he made some major history last night, and congrats are in order. You cannot accomplish something like that without astonishing longevity. It truly is an achievement that we will probably never, ever see ever again. So congrats to LeBron for setting the record for most missed field goals in NBA history. LeBron, you did it! I'm Jim Rome.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of The Pen, and I've got the perfect play.
run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing kit. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
You know, I heard rumblings of getting Shazam on there. But yeah, I think it's my job to further communicate to the guys that haven't been here, you know, how important this patch is and how much it means to the city. And we're going to wear it with great honor.
That is Devin Booker talking about the patch, the memorial patch for Al McCoy, the legendary longtime broadcaster for your Phoenix Suns, as they begin their season tonight on the road in Los Angeles. They'll play 2 games over in L.A. They'll play the Clippers tonight to open up the brand new Intuit Dome, and then Friday night, it's going to be a crazy Friday night in Los Angeles. You're going to have the Suns and the Lakers downtown, and then a few miles away, you're going to have game 1 of the World Series. And I understand there's I think there's a concert there in Los Angeles as well happening that night. People are like, there was some guy on TikTok, my friend sent it to me. He's like, he did a whole thing on TikTok. Like, if you anticipate going anywhere in Los Angeles on Friday, you better leave a lot early to get to that destination.
Isn't that just the average Friday, though?
Ooh. You know, the couple times that I've been out there for events, I mean, we always try to make sure we leave sufficiently early, but I mean, they're talking about you might want to leave like 4, I've never been anywhere recently where I've had to leave like 4 or 5 hours early to get there, but that's what they're saying. They're saying you might want to leave like 4 hours early to get to wherever you're trying to get.
Bring some road trip snacks for your like 3-mile commute.
Exactly. It is the Suns and the Clippers tonight. That game will tip off at 7:00. We got a 5-star play that I'm going to give you on tonight's NBA schedule, as well as we can say that we talked a little bit about LeBron and obviously the situation last night. What we didn't talk about, J-Dub, was the fact that they actually won the game.
Yeah, it was like 2.5, right?
Yeah, we had the Lakers plus. Because they were the underdogs.
Yeah.
In that game last night to the Timberwolves, plus 1.5 points. And they ended up winning that game, one of 2 games in the league, by 7 points. So good showing. Anthony Davis, wow, 36 and 16.
Bro, we remember Anthony Davis's rookie, freshman year at Kentucky. He might as well have been other than maybe Kevin Durant, it's hard to pick a guy who was so more impactful during his freshman year. They won the title. Ever since he's been in the NBA, he's been right on that cusp of, is he one of the top 5 best players in the league, or is he unable to even play because of injury? Last night, he looked like the best player in the league. I mean, last night, Anthony Davis was about as dominant as it gets. I know we're not here to break down the Timberwolves show, but Randall, on the other hand, didn't look like addition by subtraction. I think having Cat there last year, Timberwolves were playing really, really well down the stretch. I don't know that Randall mixed in quite as well smoothly as they would have liked, because that Timberwolves offense looked nothing like they were even in the playoffs last year. But Anthony Edwards, I heard Rudy got extended today. Another 3-year, $100 million contract for Mr. Gobert. But yeah, the Lakers, they looked good. Dalton Connect, man. What was he, like the 17th pick?
Mm-hmm.
That's just, it's pretty criminal that you got a guy like that, especially with JJ Redick is going to be a 4-out, 1 guy, 1 in, 5-out type of set guy, because he's going to set up as much as possible. One thing the Lakers didn't have last year was shooting.
Yeah.
As much. And Dalton Connect just answers some questions. So, yeah, that's a much improved Lakers squad for sure.
And ho-hum, all the Celtics did was hit a NBA record with 29 3-point shots made. Jason Tatum playing like he's still angry from the Olympics. 37 points and 10 assists last night as they rolled Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks.
I didn't watch the end because they were up by quite a bit, but the way I read that I think they missed their last 16 3-pointers or something like that. They were trying to break that record that stood for, I think it was the Houston, or it sounds like something Houston would have, or the Warriors. But Yeah, 29 tied the record. Could not get over the hump. Tried really hard there at the end, but 29 is crazy for the opening night. They were on fire from the start.
It's crazy to think. So the Suns are going to be at the Intuit Dome tonight, which will be the Clippers' first game there. I wouldn't have thought until I saw this number. They shared that facility with the Lakers for 25 years. That building's been open for 25 years. Where do these years go? Because it seems like that facility downtown opened up. So that would have been at the end. So that would have been 99, I guess, 98, 99 or 99, 2000 when that building opened up. It seems like it hasn't been around that long, but wow. So they're in Inglewood now at this new Intuit facility. Let's hear from Devin Booker some more, and Tyus Jones, both from that 2024 draft. Tyus Jones, obviously the newest member of the club, and talking about these two guys and how they anticipate playing with each other this year.
Me and Tyus go back to 2014 draft class, so somebody that I've had a close relationship for a long time, and we can say it how it is. We got him for a steal. I remember the news being broke while we were at USA, and all the guys in the locker room was like, man, how did y'all get that done? But something I'm super excited about. Obviously, not only everyone talks about the assist-turnover ratio, but he's definitely not someone you can leave open either. So he's just a true ultimate winner, and I'm glad that, he's on a stage now where he can show it.
The point guard that had been missing all of last season, Tyus Jones, gets the reins starting tonight. He is one of the new members of this team, along with obviously the head coach, Mike Budenholzer, who takes over for Frank Vogel. Budenholzer, an Arizona native from up in the northern part of the state, was the guy that upset us all as he led the Bucks to the title over the Suns back in 2021. A couple of other additions. Mason Plumlee comes over this year to add to the depth on this team. Next to the three main guys, you got obviously Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, who got an extension during the summer. Jusuf Nurkic will be back for his second year with the Suns. So a pretty nice nucleus, but we'll see kind of what the difference is now. J-Dub with Tyus Jones kind of running the show.
How many Dukies is too many?
How many
two?
Dukies?
I think on your NBA team, 2 is okay, but 3 might be pushing it with 3. I don't know about that.
3, yeah, that's a lot.
Here's the thing, David Kelly. I don't know if you know this, but Phoenix Suns last year were the worst offensive team in the fourth quarter of any single team. They had a negative 11 net rating. The second worst team had a negative 5 net rating. They were by far the worst fourth quarter team. Watch any NBA game. What you're going to see is the home team goes up 14. The away team comes back and ties the game. The away team goes up 14. The home team comes back, ties the game. That's almost every single NBA game. There's huge ebbs and flows. Winning time, those last 5 minutes of the fourth. When you're talking about Devin Booker trying to play point guard, shooting guard, and full, what if I told you that Tyus Jones has the highest assist turnover ratio of any player in NBA history? I got the numbers right here. I had to do the math.
The highest of any player in NBA
ever.
history.
Now his career is 20 minutes per game because he wasn't a starter. So we're talking about against guys. But just for sake of reference, CP3 9.4 to 2.3. That's 4 to 1. So Chris Paul's assist turnover for his career is 4 to 1. John Stockton for his career 3.75 to 1. Tyus Jones for his career is 5.3 to 1. That means for every one turnover, he's getting 5.5 assists. Now, if you talk about fourth quarter struggles, being able to set up guys like KD and Book, who are just some of the 2 purest scorers in the league, I always look for a guy. I don't want Russell Westbrook running my team, ever, DK. I don't want a guy who averages 5 turnovers per game. I don't care how many highlight dunks you have. A guy who can take care of the ball and set up teammates in crunch time is vital to success at this stage of the NBA. There's so many shooters. There's so much space. So adding him to this, like you heard Devin Booker just say right there when they were in the lead up to the Olympics and in that room with all those All-NBA guys, and they said, how the hell did you guys get this done? As a steal. I mean, putting Tyus Jones on that team, it answers the one big question that they had. Now, rebounding defense, obviously, we'll see how that goes moving forward. But as far as running an offense, it was struggle at time. Whoever those 3 guys brought the ball up, was going to be initiating offense. So it wasn't one guy running point as much. Booker probably more than the others, but having a sure-handed ball handler who doesn't make mistakes, the less mistakes you make, DK, the more opportunities you have to score the ball. And they got a lot of opportunity to score the ball. One last thing I wanted to tell you is last year he averaged 7.5 assists, and Kelly Oubre was the best scorer, right? On that. I'm sorry, not Kelly Oubre. Who is the Washington Kuminga.
Kuminga, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm blanking on his name. But anyway,
Kuzma.
Kuzma. Thank you. Kuzma and Jordan Poole were the two best scorers on that Wizards team, both in the low 40s percentage-wise field goal percentage from the field. Katie and Booker, Katie's a 52% shooter. Book's right around 49. So you're talking about having 7.5 assists per game last year for Tyus on a team with two of the worst leading scorers of any team in the NBA, a 14-win Wizards team.
Right.
If you're able to set up teammates like that when you don't have a lot of offense, just think of the firepower that this Suns team has. So all the conversation we had about last year, how are you going to stop these three guys who can all score from three levels? Well, add a point guard in there, and I think this is really the start of that experiment. Lastly, though, Budenholzer is known to be a little bit more of a defensive first kind of guy, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of offense they run if they really try to pick up the pace. Because last year they made a really concerted effort to push tempo because they were having such big half-court turnover issues that they kind of were trying to get into early offense last year. We'll see what happens this year.
And Devin Booker says that Coach Bud is extremely competitive, particularly if you put a golf club in his hand.
He's a hell of a golfer. We actually got around it. We actually got in, and he's a competitor. You know, we obviously seen a lot of him in the finals run, and he just wants to win. So, you know, I'm rallying behind him. What he says, that's always been my motto. He wants to lead, and we want to follow.
We mentioned Grayson Allen. He started mostly last season, 74 of the 75 games for the Suns, but he's expected to come off the bench to start the year, especially because he's been dealing with a little bit of an injury to the Achilles in camp. So he'll likely be with the second group. Josh Okogie also backup forward will not play. He's had a hamstring injury. The Clippers are dealing with health issues of their own. Star forward Kawhi Leonard, he's out indefinitely with chronic injuries. And, of course, no longer there, Paul George, as he is now with the Philadelphia 76ers. Clippers and Suns. We'll hear from Coach Bud coming up a little bit later in the show, get his thoughts on the beginning of this 2024-25 NBA season, one in which the Suns are picked to finish fourth in this division. So still not a lot of believers, even with this, with these three guys, this big three, not a lot of folks believing that this is a team that can win the Pacific Division. We can dive into all that. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Call us, text us. Much more coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Avery Scoggins is going to join us, the Rookie of the Week for the second time this season in Big 12 volleyball. She's the setter for your Arizona Wildcats, and they got a huge match coming up at home tomorrow night against Arizona State. DK on the sports tip. Cricket will be with us as well in the 4 o'clock hour. Right now, Dragon Ball is updating you on everything that is happening in the world of sports here in Southern Arizona and around the world.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
With the injuries mounting up on defense, right now, Coach Dwayne Akinas gave some context that while some players simply come out of the box ready, all the team's players can get better so long as they have to use the reps that they have and they use them right.
Well, reps matter. You know, it's a brand new defense. It's a brand new language. It's a brand new, you know, he came from a quarters team to more of a one-high team. So the reps are starting to stack up. I've said it in here before. This is not a game of pour water, instant football player. It takes reps, you know, unless you're Chris McAllister, just trot him out there and stay out of his way. Just make sure he knows what time the game is. But so the reps are really starting to matter for him. We've tried to keep it simple for Jack. You know, Mitch Freeney came in, and when Bobo couldn't go, and you got to respect Bobo. But those are the things that I think you got to just really embrace and talk about, the toughness. Because a lesser outfit, back to your question, how's the team morale? You get guys trying to trot out there and do whatever they can. And you got to build on that and talk about that and take great pride in that. That's all part of the process of winning football teams, because it will come back and really help us in the long run.
A reminder, Jacob Manu will not be on the field. He's out for the remainder of the season, while Gunnar Maldonado could return later on, but he will be out at least this game as he's going through surgery. And Traden Stukes also done for the year with an injury earlier on in the season. And the NBA season opened up with the Celtics raising a banner to the ceiling, then raining down a barrage of threes on the Knicks.
Defensive source and picked up inside on the rebound, collected, White from three. White chiseling his way. It's out to Bronny for three. Drew Holiday just makes the simple play.
All those threes you heard just in the first quarter of that game. The season ended up tying the NBA record of 29 three-point shots on the night as they turned their ring ceremony into a laugher early on. And big news out of the NFL with some trade talk. The Kansas City Chiefs offense isn't quite dead yet. The two-time defending champions have now gone with a deal with the Titans that sends DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs for a 2025 fifth-round pick, which could become a fourth-round pick pending some circumstances, including a Super Bowl trip for the Chiefs. The Titans become sellers at the deadline, also trading linebacker Ernest Jones to the Seahawks. And I'm Dragon Ball here with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions that are reported: River Road near Sabino on River Road west of Sabino Canyon. Colossal Cave Road at I-10. Valencia near Oak Tree Drive, earlier crash there in a closure. Westbound Valencia blocked. Approaching Oak Tree Drive and expect backups. Your highs around 94 tomorrow, 96 Friday at 99 this weekend. It's 98 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. Play social games online for free. Head to ChumbaCasino.com now to join the Chumba fun and experience the thrill of the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void or prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Alaskan AC has been keeping people chill since 1972.
Oh, chill. Cool. I get it. It's a theme.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The theme is 72, as in 1972.
Is that why you dress like that?
$72 for an Alaska vacation.
Ooh.
$72 for a service call.
Neat.
Even $72 off any repair.
Whoa.
This month, it's 72, 72, 72 to celebrate 1972, the year Alaskan AC opened its doors.
And everybody was kung fu fighting.
Everyone was streaking, too. Let's stick to what we do best.
That's right. A $72 Alaska vacation is the perfect way to prepare for the upcoming season. It's so good, we guarantee no breakdowns.
The $72 service call makes it easy to check any concerns.
And saving $72 off any repair means that you can buy one of those cool banana seats for your rad bike.
You have a weird definition of cool.
72, 72, 72. This month at AlaskanAC.com.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, if you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
I was working in the lot late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. Chris Holcomb came out and said to the guys, "Tucson's in for a big surprise.
It's now the Slash.
It's the O'Reilly Slash.
He did the slash.
It was a Halloween bash.
He did the slash.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the slash.
People saved lots of cash. So come to the place where the deals are hot. EVs and Silverados are what we've got. O'Reilly's competition is out of luck. They said, "Whatever happened to our Transylvanian trucks?" Come watch us slash prices. Together, let's drive to O'Reilly Chevrolet. When you test drive an EV today, you'll receive 2 tickets to Terror in the Corn. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or go to O'Reilly.com. Give me those keys, Igor, you impetuous fool.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona football, along with Arizona football play-by-play. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Night number 2, the full big night, the first big night of the National Basketball Association tonight. Games getting underway as we speak. And the game, one of the games that involves a number of Arizona Wildcats, the Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons, getting set to tip off at the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. Ben Matherin, TJ McConnell, JB Bickerstaff, now the head coach of the Pistons. What's the over-under on how many games the Pistons win this year? How many did they win last year? Like 15?
13, yeah.
13?
Something horrible like that.
20 this year?
I don't know.
You see Monty took a high school head coaching job?
I heard Monty kicked his
son's high school.
Well, who's the other coach? There was some other former NBA player who was the head coach there and kind of got pushed to the side so Monty could take over. And both their sons were on the roster.
Oh, geez.
That's the weird part about it. Over under, I'll say 25.
So obviously, Woj has moved on from ESPN, and we have a new NBA analyst. Does this guy Shams, does he ever not wear these sunglasses? Like everything I've seen from him.
Isn't he like 25? He's a
like,
very young man.
He's young, like in his late 20s. I don't think he's that quite 25, maybe more like 29-ish maybe. But young
30,
to be in the position he's in. But I don't know if I've seen anything so far since he joined ESPN where he's not wearing dark glasses. I don't know if he's got an issue with that.
He's just a stylish gentleman.
He's just like a cool guy. Is what do they call? Is he? Is there a NBA insider reporter equivalent to the term finance bro?
Right. Yeah. No. And I think that's very
insider
telling.
bro.
It's very telling because I mean, you'd have to be that kind of personality in order to be an insider. You really have to be on speed dial with a lot of NBA execs and that whole thing. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So big schedule tonight. We've got the Cavaliers and the Raptors are on the schedule. So that's we'll talk about that game as well in a minute. We got Suns Clippers. We mentioned that. We're going to hear from Tyus Jones here coming up. Nets and the Hawks will play tonight. Magic at the Heat. Pelle Larsson has made the roster there. Bucks and 76ers. Will be on the floor. Hornets and Rockets. The Rockets looking to bounce back. They were not very good last year. The Bulls and the Pelicans. In New Orleans tonight. Grizzlies at the Jazz. Lowry Marketing with a brand spanking new deal. A favorite son now at the Target Center. And the Warriors at the Trailblazers out west. That is the full slate of games tonight in the National Basketball
I had to look it up,
Association.
TK, and I was literally exactly correct. The Detroit Pistons over-under for win total this year started at 24.5 and has been pushed up to 25.5 because 90% of the bets have come in over. So, yeah, right around 25 wins this year.
And your 5-star play, I got a 5-star play for you in the NBA. Your BetQL 5-star play for tonight, and it involves my Cavaliers, who are above the border against Toronto. Will Toronto ever win another title? I mean, do you feel like Toronto, they sold their soul to get Kawhi Leonard for one title run? They got the ring, and now they'll probably never be relevant again.
Well, here's the thing. I think the Vince Carter era up there spawned a huge interest in basketball at a grassroots level. So there's a lot of talent. The Tri-City area, I think is what they call that area. There's a lot of young talent that comes out of there. Whether or not that will translate into the franchise itself, I think is ownership-based, right? They definitely, I don't know about mortgaging their entire franchise's future to get Kawhi, but that was a hit job, right? Because he needed to get out of San Antonio. What did he sit out for like 3 months because he refused to play before that trade? Obviously, Kawhi with the famous shot in the corner was over Embiid, right? That was a great moment for that city. I don't know. I mean, I know that their biggest issue, DK, real quick, is that they drafted nothing but 6'8", 6'9", and 6'10" athletic wings who can't score. So, I mean, they built their entire franchise around long defensive players. Pascal Siakam was probably the best of them, got rid of him. But, yeah, I don't know what their roster currently is not ready to contend. Let's put it that way.
No. So your 5-star play for tonight is take the Cavaliers minus the 6.5 on the road against the Raptors. Cleveland minus 6.5 on the road against the Raptors. That game starts at the bottom of the hour, 4:30. So you still got 20 minutes to get that play in at whatever sports book of your choice. Desert Diamond Casino is the one that obviously we frequent with. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's talk to our guy Paul in Phoenix, who I'm sure is happy. He went to the Cardinals game on Monday night, and the Cardinals got him a late field goal win. Were you jumping up and down, Paul?
No, it's funny you ask, David. I was not, because it was one of those, oh my gosh, here we go, another Cardinal ending of a game, and we're going to end up doing something weird to mess this up, and we didn't, and that was a good thing. So, holy mackerel. That team, just considering how beat up they are, kind of like the Wildcats, we'll get to that in a second. The Cardinal team, I give them credit for the amount of heart they have, because they are pretty beat up, regardless of what people think. They're pretty beat up, like everybody in the NFL is beat up right now. You know, it's just like, holy mackerel. So, I mean, even, heck, if Kansas City's somehow able to go out and get DeAndre Hopkins today, it's like,
how about that?
You know, I know. It's like,
all of a sudden we're seeing all these trade. When did the NFL become a trade league? I mean, like, in good players.
Exactly. See, and that's where it's kind of like baseball. Are you a buyer, or are you a seller?
Right.
And so teams are trying to figure out. And I would love to, if we beat the Dolphins this week, I think the trade deadline is it November, early November, something like that?
Usually, yeah.
We could become a buyer. We could be looking for some help on the defensive line. That's what we need. We need somebody to rush the passer, because
that's where you need it for sure.
Yeah, losing Gardak hurt.
I saw that last night after the show, and because I hadn't heard he'd gotten hurt in the game, and I saw it after the show, and I was like, oh man, I love that. That guy is just he's like energy. He exudes energy. He's the kind of guy you want on your team. Undersized guy, but just plays with a lot of heart. November the 5th is the trade deadline, by the way, at 1 o'clock our time.
And of course, Ron Wolfley calls him, Gardak the Barbarian. So it's good, but it's fun. I don't know. I don't know where this team's going to go, but I tell you what, if Kyler can do what he did Monday night, we have a chance. We just can't rely on him to I don't know. I don't know. This team is. Let's just see if we can win 2 in a row.
Yeah, I was going to say, Paul. You know what I know is that before you start talking about buying, come to the realization that it's been 3 years since the Cardinals won 2 games in a row.
Exactly. That's exactly. That's why 10 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, I'm supposed to be out at breakfast with some friends, And I'm like, okay, this breakfast is going to happen really fast.
There you
I
go.
got things to do. Okay, so I know I sent you a text the other day.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to do that research, man. I've been busy, but I do want to look at that though. Unless you've already got the
That's not
numbers.
you though, David.
Huh?
That's not you. I don't have the number. That's not you. That's on Glenn or Kelvin.
Yeah, come on. You're asking Glenn. You're asking Glenn and Kelvin. I love those guys, but you're asking them to do homework.
But I tell you what, here's the thing. I did not realize until right now, till Dragon Ball's update, that Jake Amanu was out for the season. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
And like, holy mackerel. So here's the thing. We're obviously got to play who we have. The only thing we have that really we can kind of say, okay, we know they can play. It's Noah and it's T-Mac. So what they need to figure out is, even if they line up T-Mac in the backfield and then have him go in motion, just to somehow let the defense know, hey, you can't just stand, you can't walk a cornerback up on him and then have a safety play over the top on him. So put T-Mac in motion, put him in various places, have him, whatever you need to do, but utilize the young man and see what we can do to make it, to change it up a little bit, because whatever we're doing has not been working very well.
Yeah,
right?
movement, Paul, and Bo, unfortunately, we got to get going because we got a bunch of stuff to go here. But movement is the key. I think you hit it on the head there. You've got to move him, move the defense, get the defense thinking in different directions so you can begin to try to formulate a better attack plan.
Thanks, Paul.
Paul, we always appreciate talking to you, and
Thank you.
glad those Cardinals are, at least I said it, they got to come out of this 4-game stretch 3-1. 4-0 would be great heading into the bye week, but 3-1 for sure. All right, we're joined by the fourth member, but Dragon Ball, we dispatched Dragon Ball out to Mulcahy Stadium to talk to the soccer team, because we've got soccer coming up as well this Friday night. They're going to play their Territorial Cup match against Arizona State. So we've got Cricket in here with us.
Hello.
Cricket's got tickets.
Oh, hey.
Cricket's got we still don't have a sounder for that. I gotta get on that.
Get a jingle.
Cricket's got something like Cricket's got. Maybe we'll have the guy from Westwood One. They were talking about him the other night. Cricket's got tickets.
The big voice, dude.
The big, that's way bigger voice than me.
Yeah, we do have some free home show tickets to the Southern Arizona Home Show. It is coming this weekend to the TCC Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you can stop by the front desk at Wildcats Radio 1290, which is located at 575 West Roger Road. Look for the big Cumulus Media sign out by the road. Just when you get here to the front desk, again, it's got to be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Mention that you heard that we have free tickets when you stop by. Maximum 4 tickets per person over the age of 18. And
what are you buying at the home show if you go there this Friday? Go.
Oh, I'm sure I'd buy something that had to do with plants that I don't need. Like, maybe like a cool pot or like, a big tree that I have no space for. I'd buy something I don't need. What about you?
Me? Gosh, I'm not. I just, that's probably, I would buy something for my mother because she is a huge plant person. So it would probably be something along those lines. She really likes those kind of like watery devices. Like anything that's got like a waterfall or shoots water up in the air. She's got this one, but it's like it's what do they call it, where the sun shines on it and it makes it go
like a
solar.
Like a solar.
Yeah, she's got one of these ones. It's solar, so it works. It only works for a few hours in the morning when the sun is coming up over her balcony, and then it doesn't work the rest of the day. So I was like, you spend all that money for something that only works 2 hours out of the day.
Yep, that's some solar stuff.
Yeah, so maybe like a one of those watery kind of shooting water out of the rocks or something like that. She gets birds and they fly around, something the birds can land in and get cool with, that kind of thing.
You're a good son.
Cricket knows all about water and birds.
Yeah?
Yes, she does.
Is that an inside joke there that I
Maybe.
don't know about?
No, there's water bowls in the back and a lot of birds.
Oh,
yeah.
well, you feed the birds here too.
I don't feed the birds.
Oh.
The birds are just
put the water
secondary
out and
creatures that get access
to
the water.
the water.
Just
It's
some
actually
water.
for the wolves. The Coyotes.
The Wolves.
The Wolves.
And the Bears.
And the Bears.
And the Bears back there, too.
Oh, man. Look out for those Bears back there.
Yeah.
All right. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Got some backups on westbound Ahaway at Mission Road. More slowing on westbound Valencia as you approach and pass I-19. And collisions that are reported at Broadway and Aviation Parkway, River Road west of Sabino Canyon, also Colossal Cave Road at I-10. And weather-wise, our highs around 94 tomorrow, 96 on Friday, and 99 this weekend. 98 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. Introducing Chumba Casino, the thrilling online social casino that's free to play. Head on over to ChumbaCasino.com now to join in on the fun. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor that summer could finally be coming to an end. A big relief for us. But your car is probably still feeling the effects of the brutal summer heat. So now's the perfect time to stop by any of the 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a complimentary check of your brakes, batteries, coolant levels, and wiper blades. Those are just a few of the things to help keep your car road trip ready. And when those cooler overnight temperatures finally do arrive, some of you will see your low pressure warning light come on. But don't worry, you can stop by anytime for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if your tire sensor really is a problem, we can fix that too. Mention this ad and get free installation and tire rebalancing with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. Visit jackfurriers.com for even more specials. And for fast, friendly service, you can make an appointment online. Call ahead or just drive up and find out why Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the locals' favorite for tires and automotive repair. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Alaskan AC has been keeping people chill since 1972.
Oh, chill. Cool. I get it. It's a theme.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The theme is 72, as in 1972.
Is that why you dress like that?
$72 for an Alaska vacation.
Ooh.
$72 for a service call.
Neat.
Even $72 off any repair.
Whoa.
This month, it's 72, 72, 72 to celebrate 1972, the year Alaskan AC opened its doors.
And everybody was kung fu fighting.
Everyone was streaking, too. Let's stick to what we do best.
That's right. A $72 Alaska vacation is the perfect way to prepare for the upcoming season. It's so good, we guarantee no breakdowns.
The $72 service call makes it easy to check any concerns.
And saving $72 off any repair means that you can buy one of those cool banana seats for your rad bike.
You have a weird definition of cool.
72, 72, 72. This month at AlaskanAC.com.
TFCU Gives supports local organizations who help those in need. We take pride in giving back and believe that we are stronger when we all pitch in to help one another. Sister Jose Women's Center is dedicated to uplifting all women in our community by providing a welcoming and safe environment for women experiencing homelessness. TFCU invites you to join us in partnering with Sister Jose Women's Center. Learn more about Sister Jose at www.sisterjose.org.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Buccaneers will be without wide receiver Chris Godwin for the rest of the season as he's set to have surgery on the dislocated ankle he suffered Monday night against the Ravens, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. Tampa will also be without receiver Mike Evans for this Sunday's divisional matchup against the Falcons with a hamstring injury. Bucs head coach Todd Bowles says the injury will keep him out until after the team's Week 11 bye and described it as, quote, moderate, but says Evans is hurting pretty good. Meantime, the Rams opened the 21-day practice window for wide receiver Puka Nacua, who returned to practice Tuesday. Nacua has been on injured reserve with a knee injury that he re-aggravated in the team's Week 1 game against the Lions. The Rams are also expected to have Cooper Kupp back for Thursday Night Football against the Vikings. And the Browns are signing quarterback Bailey Zappi off the Chiefs practice squad, according to NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we've got a huge volleyball game coming up at McHale Center on Thursday night. Arizona versus Arizona State, the Territorial Cup Series rematch after the Sun Devils got the best of the Wildcats a few weeks ago up in Tempe, 3-1. Pleased to be joined by the freshman setter for the Arizona Wildcats. She reigns from New Bern, North Carolina, right there on the eastern seaboard. Avery Scoggins joins us. And first of all, Avery, freshman year, you're the starting setter. That's a lot to take in your first year in college, starting new school, new place, and you've already got one of the top jobs on the team. How are you handling all that?
I love it. I love playing volleyball, and I love playing with my teammates. I've really grown to love these girls, and we're really starting to have a good connection right now, so it's great.
And it's interesting, Avery, we heard you talk a few weeks ago about how, when you first started playing, I would imagine like a lot of young ladies, you were a hitter, and then there was a suggestion made to you that if you wanted to progress your career, you might need to set. What was that when you first heard that, or when that was first told to you? Did you take that as okay, this is just what I have to do now? Did you take that as any type of disappointment because you wanted to be a hitter because the hitters seem to get all the glory? Kind of how did you take that and then formulate what your plan next was going to be on how to further your career?
Well, I'll be honest. At first, I was like, oh, dang it. Like, I really wanted to be a hitter. But then I tried out setting, and I really, really loved it. So it really worked out for me, and I just really wanted to be really good at it, and I took it. And I liked it, too, because I got to make all the decisions. When I was hitting, I was like, oh, I hope I get set. And then now that I'm setting, I'm like, oh, I get to choose who I get to set. So it's great.
So what's the learning process? Walk us through the learning process of, had you kind of messed around with I'm sure you probably messed around with setting in practice, but how much did you know about how to do it? Like, what was the learning curve like?
So basically, being a setter is just like being a quarterback on the team. There's so many plays, and there's a certain time to run every play. So, I think the best way to get better at setting is actually setting and getting those reps in and then playing in those games. And you can really learn in those moments. Like, this is when I do this. This is when I do that. So I think that's pretty much how it went. And it was just over time, everything got better. And that's my goal, is just to keep progressing and just keep learning and never think that I know enough, because everything's always evolving.
Avery Scoggins, freshman setter for Arizona Volleyball, is our guest. Now, I believe you said you started when you were 14, if I'm not mistaken. So what was that?
Yes.
Sophomore year, about high school, sophomore, freshman year?
Freshman year.
Okay. So when did you feel like you were comfortable with it? And you said, like, okay, now I'm comfortable with it. I can really maybe start to progress from this point.
I think like starting setting I was always comfortable with because like in volleyball you kind of learn to do all the skills growing up and you're not really chose to a position until like freshman year of high school, 8th grade maybe. So I knew what I was doing, but it was just a matter of fact of getting to learn more about the position that I really liked, and that's what I had to do. So I became comfortable with it, I would say probably sophomore year of high school, and that's when I started to really gain some confidence.
And at what point did you think you could actually get a scholarship to be a setter in college? Was that maybe the next year, junior year, or did you kind of think, man, now I've got it. Now schools are starting to call, and why? What was it about maybe the way you set that schools were calling? What did they like about the way you did it?
Honestly, I'm not sure what schools liked about the way that I did it. But I know. I'm sorry.
So who called you? Were you initially recruited by Dave, or were you entirely recruited by? So when Dave first called you, what did he say? What did he say about why he liked you as a setter?
Well, so I had reached out to Arizona. So on June 15th, going into your junior year, is when you can officially talk to coaches. And so me playing on my club team, they didn't get to really see me as much because they didn't come to a lot of the tournaments that I went to. And so they didn't really get to see me play because they couldn't talk to me. So once I started talking to them, Dave was like, okay, you're going to have to come to camp. So I came all the way out to Arizona camp. And I remember he told me, he was like, yeah, I think you're pretty good. And that's pretty much all I got from him. And he's like, well, we're going to have to talk to Rita.
And what was that conversation like?
Oh,
so he told you.
I remember
so he told
I got
you,
my offer.
Wait. So he told you were really good, and then Rita kind of broke it all down for you.
Yeah. So I got my offer from Rita coming. I was about to leave to go back home for my official visit because they wanted me to come on an official after camp, and I got my offer from Rita. I think it was like 4:30 in the morning because my flight was super early in the morning. I remember being half asleep, and we were sitting in the hotel lobby at the table. She was like, hey, Rhea, I want to offer you a scholarship here. And I was like, really? Like, oh, my gosh, nothing had woken me up faster because I had learned to love Arizona. When I came out here, I loved it again. And then on my official, I loved it even more.
So you mentioned that you called them. What was it about Arizona? And you just said there you'd been out here before. So had you vacationed out here? So you knew a little bit about Arizona?
So I had never actually been to the U of A. I had just seen, I've seen an ad or an email or something I think I got for school because I know, you know how they always send emails out for schools?
Right.
And I had seen an email. I was like, wow, this school is really pretty. I'm going to check it out. And then I saw they had volleyball, and I was like, oh, I'm going to email them because I really like this school. So essentially it was like a shot in the dark. And when I got a text message back after June 15th and he wanted to set up a call, I was so excited. And then when I came out here for camp and I got to see it for the first time, I just immediately fell in love with the school.
Avery Scoggins, freshman setter for the University of Arizona. She is Rookie of the Week once again, second time this year. You got to feel good. I mean, obviously you won the job in camp, and you got to feel good now that you're getting this recognition within the conference for what you're doing, that you're setting yourself up to be in this position and be the setter for the next 4 years. We hear and you mentioned earlier, you're the quarterback of the team. We've heard that phrase used before in terms of volleyball. So there's another term called, quarterbacks can make all the throws. Can you make all the sets, and what are all the sets?
So I guess you could say there's an infinite amount of sets, but for the most part, it all depends on what my hitters want to hit. And for right now, I know my hitters that play, I can pretty much set them any ball that they want. And if I can't, I'll learn how to do it for them. So I would say the sets are to the outside, to the back row, to the back set. In the middle, there's a couple different middle sets. So
do you have a favorite?
My favorite is I like to set the outside ball.
Okay. Okay.
That's probably my favorite.
I like the quick set in the middle. That's my favorite play in volleyball.
Really?
Yes. It's quick.
I like the
middle goes
outside
up,
or the
and
swap.
you like the other? Well, that's fine. You know a little bit more about it than I do. In terms of just, the win you guys had against BYU, I was at that match earlier this year, and you had a huge block in the fifth set. Walk me through that moment, because you were about as excited as I think I've ever seen a setter in Arizona, and I've been here 16 years to get a big block in a big match like that.
Oh, gosh, my blocking has been struggling, and I had been working on it a little bit on the side, just going into the gym and getting some extra reps. And my teammates were so supportive of me, because during practice I was constantly getting tooled, or I wasn't in the right spot. And my teammates are like, Avery, you got it. You've got it. Go get her. You've got it. Go get her. And it just felt so good to finally get a block for my team, and they helped me through it. And it just was so relieving knowing that all that time that I put into it and the effort paid off.
Obviously, this is a program that struggled last year. You guys got off to the great start, but a little bit of a few speed bumps in Big 12 play. But do you feel like you got with the good young core that you've got with you and obviously Carly and several of the others, Brenna as well? Do you feel like you've got a really strong core of young players to build on moving forward?
I do. I really think we do. We have a lot of talent, and one thing about these girls is that everybody's willing to grow. I know we just had the freshman recruits that are coming in. Some of them are coming in wintertime, and they were great, and they seemed like they were really excited to get in the gym and work to get better too. And we're all just super competitive, and we're really excited for the future. I mean, obviously we have a great team right now. We're focused on the moment right now, especially with tomorrow. We've got practice in the morning. It's going to be a great practice. We're all focused up. But I think we're constantly growing, and we have these amazing seniors too who are helping us learn. And I've learned so much, and I just am ready to keep learning.
All right, who's your favorite senior?
Oh, I don't have a favorite. I love them all.
So diplomatic.
I love all of
So
them.
diplomatic, as a setter should be. All right, so what happened the last time around against ASU, and what do you think you have to improve at most to beat them this time around?
So at ASU, we actually played pretty good. I was really proud of the way the team played. I think it's always hard to beat your rival team at their place. They had so many people there. The energy was so loud. But we also had people there, so that's what made it fun. But I think the thing we struggle with the most is consistency. We'll have a really good set, and then sometimes we'll go and we'll play 3 really good points, and then we'll have 3 really bad points. So what we've been working on is just making sure that when we have one bad point, we can fix it and make the next one a good point, so it doesn't rally and then in a row it's 3 bad points, and then it's 1 good point, 3 bad points, and we're kind of in a rough patch. So that's what we really need to avoid, and just play point for point, every point at a time, and not worry about what happened in the past.
Obviously, you reign from North Carolina. North Carolina's been going through some things with the recent hurricane. Has that affected anybody in your family or folks that you know, and how are things back there?
So everything right now is pretty good. I know a couple of my good friends went to App State, Western Carolina, and though the western side was pretty much the most affected, thankfully nobody in my immediate family was affected. But I know that App State, for example, they had multiple buildings that were flooded, and they had to cancel school for a couple of weeks. Same with Western Carolina. But everybody's doing much better. It's getting taken care of. And
all right, I lived in North Carolina for a year and a half. What's your favorite beach?
Atlantic Beach. That's where I'm close to.
Atlantic Beach. Okay.
Atlantic Beach, or Ocracoke.
I lived in Wilmington, so Wrightsville Beach for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. All right. Well, great to chat with you, Avery, and continued success. Looking forward to tomorrow night's match and hopefully getting some payback against the Sun Devils, and looking forward to you kind of leading this program for the next 3 years. Good luck.
Yes, I'm super excited. I couldn't do it without all my teammates and my coaches.
There you go. Always thank the coaches, and definitely thank the teammates. Yeah, I always like to see if I can get favorites out of people, but I never seem to be able to get the favorites. They've taught you guys.
Well, it's hard because it's I love all of them so much individually, and everybody has their perks.
There you go.
So it's just like everybody is so special to me, and I couldn't do it without passing or the hitters. They just make me look good.
There you go. All right, we'll see. We'll talk to you again soon, Avery. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Avery Scoggins, freshman setter for the University of Arizona. She was the Rookie of the Week once again for a second straight week as the Wildcats got a split in their series against lost to Colorado last week, but beat Houston 78 assists, 38 digs for Avery, double-doubles in each match. She's averaging close to 9 assists per set and 4 digs per assist, or digs per set, I should say. Ranked 7th among league players in that second category. She's going to be fun to watch over the course of the next 4 years here at the University of Arizona. Get on out and support the ladies again. Rita wants 4,700 because I think they had 4,600 at Tempe for the game a couple weeks ago. So we want to beat the Tempe's crowd. Get out there and support the ladies tomorrow night. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together, sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Collisions reported Cortero near I-10 on Cortero west of I-10, River Road west of Sabino Canyon, and also Colossal Cave Road at I-10. Some slowing on westbound Valencia approaching I-19 and westbound on Ajo at Mission Road. And for your weather, looking at highs around 94 tomorrow, 96 Friday, and about 99 this weekend, 97 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Plumbing, they'll help you with drain cleaning, water treatment, sewer repairs, and replacements. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected plumbing experts at CoolWillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's CoolWillies.com. CoolWillies.com.
Test drive a new EV today at O'Reilly Chevrolet and receive 2 tickets to Terror in the car. Yeah, boy, you'll love it. And trust, it doesn't bite. But as you know, I do.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you can win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Arizona football fans, your Wildcats are back in action at Arizona Stadium this Saturday for Parents Weekend as they take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. Kickoff is scheduled for 4 p.m. Remaining ticket inventory is limited, so get your tickets now. Call the ticket office at 520-621-CATS. That's 520-621-CATS. Or visit ArizonaWildcats.com/FB and grab your tickets today. Bear down.
Wildcats Radio 1290 and Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers, are proud to support the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Your Arizona Wildcats will take on West Virginia this Saturday at Arizona Stadium. Get all the info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Was your AC struggling to keep up this summer? We all know what happens to a car if it doesn't get a regular oil change. Your air conditioner is no different. Regular maintenance increases efficiency and reduces the chance of catastrophic failure. Take advantage of Rightway's $65 AC tune-up special. Our experts will perform a 42-point inspection, ensuring your AC runs like new. We'll even check for refrigerant leaks at no charge. Call Rightway at 520-549-1914 for your $65 AC tune-up.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
Oh, we can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Alaskan AC has been keeping people chill since 1972.
Oh, chill. Cool. I get it. It's a theme.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The theme is 72, as in 1972.
Is that why you dress like that?
$72 for an Alaska vacation.
Ooh.
$72 for a service call.
Neat.
Even $72 off any repair.
Whoa.
This month, it's 72, 72, 72 to celebrate 1972, the year Alaskan AC opened its doors.
And everybody was kung fu fighting.
Everyone was streaking, too. Let's stick to what we do best.
That's right. A $72 Alaska vacation is the perfect way to prepare for the upcoming season. It's so good, we guarantee no breakdowns.
The $72 service call makes it easy to check any concerns.
And saving $72 off any repair means that you can buy one of those cool banana seats for your rad bike.
You have a weird definition of cool.
72, 72, 72. This month at AlaskanAC.com.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. 7-time NBA champion Robert Horry told me yesterday that the Los Angeles Lakers should have Bronny James play one game and then immediately send him down to the G League. Bronny only saw 3 minutes in his NBA debut last night up against the Timberwolves, but in that short amount of time, he looked like a kid sitting at the grown-ups table during a holiday dinner. Bronny looked out of place, needs to develop more, and Robert Horry is right that the G League is where Bronny should be sent. I'm Zach Gelb.
Come on in to Total Wine & More. Prices much lower than a grocery store. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text at that number. So glad to have had a chance to chat with Avery Scoggins of Arizona Volleyball. Again, they are playing tomorrow night against ASU, a pretty big home matchup, as the ladies got a win against the Houston Cougars, but they're kind of still sitting on the lower side of the Big 12 Conference right now with the struggles that they've had early on. So they've still got some work to do here in the second half of the season as we creep up on the second half, or as Rita Stubbs likes to say, we're still in set 3 right now. I have to get her to give me the whole outline of how she rolls. Like set 1 is the beginning of the season, kind of the non-conference, and I think set 2 is kind of the first part of the conference schedule. And then she indicated last week we were in set 3.
Well, first base, second base, and third base is already taken. There's a different connotation there. So, I love, my favorite thing about Avery is when you asked her how she got to school here, and she said, well, I looked up online and I saw pictures of the campus and it looked really pretty. So I sent an email. It was all on her part.
Right?
She's here because of her own doing. I love that whole story. It's great.
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that is awesome. And we hear we hear stories like that. We heard it from Ricky Hundley over the weekend, just kind of how, he came, didn't see a picture, but he came out here and he just fell in love with the place like that. And Rich Rod used to say that a lot. If we could just if we can just get the kids to come here, get them to come to a camp, they're going to want to stay.
Yeah, come visit in November.
Come visit in January is when you want them to come here, because it is freezing cold in most places in January. Get those kids out here in January, and you might not ever let them get away. I mean, I just remember even myself just growing up. Now, obviously, I spent a large part of my youth life in Los Angeles, but then moved back to the Midwest. And I just I can remember coming to Arizona and I'm thinking, man, this is I want to live here. It's warm, it's nice, and I always kind of, I probably shouldn't say this too loud, but I didn't know a lot about Arizona when I was in University of Arizona when I was in high school. I knew more about Arizona State, I think, because and I've said this before, I think at the time in the 80s, Arizona State just had a larger reputation.
Yeah, 70s
among
even for
kids
baseball
in
and
the
stuff,
Midwest. Than Arizona did. So I knew a little bit about ASU, and that was one of the schools on my list of places that I wanted to go.
Cush was?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
there
knew
you go.
Frank Cush. Absolutely. You knew who Frank Cush was. But again, I think my first and foremost, I wanted to get, if I could get back to LA. It was always kind of a secondary. Well, if I can't get back to LA to go to school, then maybe I go to Arizona or somewhere else that's warm. I always knew I wanted to go somewhere warm, and that's what happens. A lot of kids
I've
get out
lived
here
here
and they
most of
fall
my
in love
life,
with it.
and when I lived on campus exclusively for 10, 15 years, almost all my roommates during that time were from New Jersey or New York, DK. And every single one of them, after acclimating for a year, would not want to ever go home. But it's always been the same story. Yeah.
Exactly. So in terms of the Big 12 standings right now in volleyball, you've got Kansas on top at 7-0. Arizona State is 7-1. So that tells you how big a match this is. The Sun Devils are going to come in here tomorrow with a 6-game winning streak. They are 19-2. I'm sorry, they've won 7 in a row overall. They are 19-2 on the season. And so an opportunity for the Wildcats to knock off one of the top dogs. After that, TCU third at 6-2, Utah fourth at 5-2, BYU, who Arizona beat earlier this season, is fifth at 5-3, Kansas State sixth at 4-3, Baylor, Iowa State both 3-3, so that's 7-8, Colorado, Houston 3-4, that's 8-9, and then you've got Arizona and Cincinnati at 2-5, that's 10-11. And then at the bottom of the conference right now, you've got Central Florida, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. So right now, the Arizona Wildcats are on the bottom side. I think, what was they were preseason 11th, I think. They were.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And they are now 12, I believe, 12th, 11th, or 12th. So they're right about where they were preseason picked in the Big 12.
A lot of young talent, though.
Yeah, a lot of young talent and a lot of room to grow, for sure. All right, we can dive into all that. 520-848-1290 if you're going to be at the game tomorrow. If you're going to the game, want to hear from you about what you want to see from this young volleyball team against ASU. I've got a sweet deal for you. It's from Rusty's Family Restaurant and Sports Grill. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. This sweet deal is going to go on sale on our website, WildcatsRadio1290.com, Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. Rusty's Family Restaurant and Sports Grill, located at Grant and Silverbell, offers a fun vibe with a great happy hour atmosphere. They're celebrating their 24th anniversary the entire month of November. Celebrations, so check out the beer of the month, West Side 45 Mexican Lager from Huss Brewing Company. We've got the World Series that's going to be happening there starting Friday night. You can watch that all next week. College football and NFL football on Saturdays and Sundays. They've got over 45 TVs. If you've been to Rusty's, though, like I said yesterday, I want to know, do they still have the boxes at the tables so I can listen to whatever game I want on however many TVs they have? I want to know if they still have that. Elevated menu includes delicious wings, burgers, bistro medallions, super salads, all of that. They've got a complete menu. Just head on over to see that at rustystucson.com. They've also got a large selection of bottled beer, draft beer, wine, and cocktails. It is one of the best sports bars here in Southern Arizona, if not the best and biggest. Rusty's Family Restaurant and Sports Grill, and I've got a sweet deal for you there Friday morning at 8:30 a.m., so go and check that out. Don't miss out. $50 gift certificate for just $25. It does not get any better than that. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number. We're going to have much more coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. They had Big 12. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I totally forgot we got Dragon Ball on hold. Let's talk to Dragon Ball. He's out at soccer. Bro, I totally forgot about you, man. I'm just sitting here talking about all these other things and forgot that you're out at soccer, and talk about Territorial Cup. series. They are also facing the Sun Devils Friday night, all bet in Tempe.
Yep, all that in Tempe, and coming off of a very good bounce-back win right now for the soccer squad. Again, they had that pretty bad loss against Kansas, but then Kansas State ended up putting up 5 goals. And, again, Gianna Christensen and company, they have been a very good soccer team the last couple of years. They're averaging about 3 or 4 goals a game so far, and already 10 wins on the year. So a bit of a good introduction to the Big 12 conference for them. And they talked about that a lot, right, when we were over here at Mulcahy, rather. And just trying to focus on getting as many more strikers involved as possible to allow, these girls like Gianna Christensen, who has found a sudden offensive resurgence this season, her last at the U of A, definitely showing off a lot of good opportunities, and they're going to try to bring that into the ASU game.
Yeah, again, this will be the final game of the season, regular season. We've talked about the Big 12 tournament. They suffered, you mentioned those losses, the big loss, the 1-0 loss at Houston, and then the big loss to Kansas. So that was an absolutely must-win to get the one against Kansas State. And if you win this weekend, you finish 6-4-1 in conference. And that would not be a bad first year. That would also give you an 11th win on the year. So they would be they're already one of 5 teams in the conference who has double-digit wins, and that puts you in the top half of the bracket, or at least the top half of the conference, heading into that conference tournament in Kansas City. What did Becca Moros say that needs to happen for them to get the result up in Tempe?
Well, she first off opened it up by asking AS who when we brought up the name of the school. So obviously Becca's already in the spirit of things.
She's in game week.
But the main thing is that she mentions that over all the time that she's been coaching against ASU, it's always been a tale of two halves, is that she'll get one half and then the Sun Devils will get another, and the other half will kind of switch it back and forth. So at this point, it's just about playing a complete total game against the school up north for them if they want to go and come away with a victory in this one. And the rest of the team, also the players getting very much involved in the rivalry. Apparently no forks being used by any of the players when they eat. They're not allowed to use forks during ASU week. So Gianna Christensen mentioned that trying to eat noodles with a knife and spoon, not the easiest thing, but they're doing their best.
Wow. I've never heard that before in terms of of the rivalry week not using forks. I like that, Dragon Ball. I like that a lot. I think we should do that across the board.
Territorial might be something to go ahead and carry over with the rest of the schools. Yeah, the rest of the school programs. Yeah.
Territorial Cup week for football. I think I'm not gonna use a fork that entire week. I'm gonna see if I can get through an entire week of eating without a fork. I like that. We got to get that. That needs to be a thing. I seriously, I've been here 16 years. Have you ever heard of that, J-Dub? I don't think I've ever heard of that from any of our teams.
So I'm supposed to have spaghetti tonight. So what am I supposed to do there?
Chopsticks?
I guess.
Chopsticks?
I can make that work.
I like that. We got to get that going.
How much does a fork count?
No forks. How much? You said how much? What? How much does a fork? What?
How much does a spork? A spoon fork count?
Does that count? A spoon fork? It's got.
You're only half supporting.
Yeah,
the school
exactly. That would only be half supporting. Wow. Yeah, we're gonna get that going. I like that for sure. No forks allowed. That's gonna be the motto for the Territorial Cup week. No forks allowed. Nobody uses a fork to eat. Everybody uses spoons and knives.
How about horns down, forks down, that whole thing?
Horns down, forks down.
Yeah.
We're just coming up with all this.
No, because like the Longhorn fans get so upset with the horns down thing, and that's kind of been a trend recently.
Oh, I see what you mean. Forks down.
Yeah, forks down.
That's what that's Caleb Love has done that. We've had quite a few of our athletes that have done that. But I like this no forks in eating thing. We're gonna get that going for sure. Dragon Ball, you have created a monster. You have let the monster. Who said that? So Gianna said that specifically.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have to play that tomorrow on the show. We'll get that sound from Gianna and make sure we play that tomorrow.
What Dragon Ball was trying to say is that chopstick sales in Tucson just got a bump of 750% over the next 24 hours.
There you go. All right, Dragon Ball, thank you. Enjoy your day off tomorrow. We will see you on Friday.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Dragon Ball out at U of A Soccer. No forks allowed. Game week. Territorial Cup game week. Doesn't matter the sport. Now, we may now, in terms of us, we'll just do it for the big sports. I don't know if we can. That would be a lot of sports if we didn't use forks.
I like
for
spaghetti,
every
man. I like spaghetti a lot. So that's gonna be. You're making my life tough here moving forward.
J-Dub is like, I like spaghetti.
I'm trying to think of like the one food that would be really difficult to eat without a fork.
Yeah, well, I've got noodles in there right now. I got chow mein. Yeah, so I definitely have to go get me some chopsticks for that, for sure. What do you think about that, folks? What do you think about that? No forks for Territorial Cup week. Are you in? Are you in or are you out on that? 520-848-1290. Text me. Call me. Hit me up on Facebook, Wildcats Radio 1290. Hit me up on Twitter, at Wildcats 1290. Hit me up on my app. You can message the app. You can make a video on the app. You can use audio on the app. No forks for Territorial Cup week. Eating, nothing. Spoons and knives only. Are you in for that? DK on the sports tip. Dragon Ball is getting you home with everything you need to know in the world of sports here in Southern Arizona and around the world.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Adia Barnes and the Wildcats women's were in new ground for their media day appearance. They decided to go ahead and prepare for the Big 12 season, with Coach Barnes saying that the team has a lot of studying to do with the new teams they have to face in the conference.
Yeah, a lot of new teams, definitely a lot of homework, but I think it's a very different style of play. I think there's a lot more girth inside in the post, a lot more players that play back to the basket, and a lot bigger, so we have a lot more depth inside, but just adjusting. But I'm curious to see how we're going to adjust as a team, because our style is also very different than most Big 12 teams. So I think in some ways, some teams will have to adjust to us, and we'll have to adjust to them. And I think adding more depth and size inside will really help us, because we know we have a lot of big players. But I think it's a fun time, and I feel like with this time and the state of women's basketball, you're always constantly adjusting, because every team is different. There's rarely teams that have all of their players for 4 to 5 years now. So I think that every year they're adding new players, adding new transfers, and that's just kind of the way women's basketball is. So you have to be able to pivot when you need to, and I think we're ready for that now.
A reminder, Adia and her team will play their first exhibition game at McHale on Friday. And the Cardinals look to be getting healthier as they continue to prep for the Dolphins this week, including the potential return of offensive lineman Christian Jones from the injured reserve. Jones, if you remember, was in the lineup since August, but he's been out of the lineup since August, after an ankle injury derailed his season. Jones has until October the 2nd to practice before he ends back up on the season-ending injured reserve. And the NBA season begins for the Suns. They travel out to Inglewood for the first regular season game ever played at the new Intuit Dome for the Clippers. And while the Suns have a pretty healthy unit going into the court this day, the Clippers will still be without star Kawhi Leonard. He's out indefinitely with a knee issue, so James Harden will look to go ahead and be the centerpiece of the offense going into that game against Devin Booker and company. I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With some slowdowns on westbound I-10 near Valencia, also on westbound Ajo Way at Mission Road. Crashes reported Swan and Sunrise Drive, Golf Links and Kolb Road, Oracle and Suffolk, Midtown, Fort Lowell and Alvernon, and on the northwest side, Cortero, west of I-10. And for your weather, highs around 94, tomorrow 96, Friday 99 this weekend. And currently 94 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com.
With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your go-to destination for nonstop entertainment. Play for fun and play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor that summer could finally be coming to an end. A big relief for us. But your car is probably still feeling the effects of the brutal summer heat. So now's the perfect time to stop by any of the 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a complimentary check of your brakes, batteries, coolant levels, and wiper blades. Those are just a few of the things to help keep your car road trip ready. And when those cooler overnight temperatures finally do arrive, some of you will see your low pressure warning light come on. But don't worry, you can stop by anytime for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if your tire sensor really is a problem, we can fix that too. Mention this ad and get free installation and tire rebalancing with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. Visit jackfurriers.com for even more specials. And for fast, friendly service, you can make an appointment online, call ahead, or just drive up and find out why Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the locals' favorite for tires and automotive repair. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats!
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
My drains are clogged again. What should I do? Don't let those clogged drains scare you. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has a $79 drain and faucet diagnostic service special. We'll get you back in the flow. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona football. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Mount Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
No forks allowed. That is the rally cry. It has come straight from Gianna Christensen, Arizona senior forward on the soccer team. No forks allowed at dinner, at breakfast, at lunch, at snack, because it's Territorial Cup Series week. Arizona volleyball, we talked to Avery Scoggins. Wish we'd gotten that information before Avery Scoggins. We could have put that in her ear, and they could have done that on the volleyball side too. No forks, no forks. The Arizona soccer team is not using forks this week because they play the Sun Devils Friday night. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like I said, I've been here 16 years, and I could be wrong, but I don't ever think I've heard of that one before. To get yourself ready for the rivalry against the school up north, not using a fork. I'm all in. I'm in. I will not use a fork until that game is over Friday night. We got volleyball tomorrow. We've got soccer on Friday up in Tempe. We've got the trophy the last 2 years in the Territorial Cup Series. So let's start the path to keeping it. Right now, the Sun Devils won the first meeting in volleyball. There will be only one meeting, obviously, in soccer, one meeting in football, 2 meetings in volleyball. So a chance to split the point there with a win at home tomorrow night for the Arizona Wildcats. No forks allowed. Are you in? Are you down with that?
It's a modern thing, right? I mean, they rebranded about 15 years ago. And
So
that's
the
when the
whole fork thing?
stuff started.
Yeah.
So, like, that wasn't a thing in the 80s, 90s.
I don't remember it.
No, it wasn't a thing. So, the School Up North rebranded with the whole forks concept as being a part of their rallying cry early 2010s.
Yeah, they've got their no pity for the kitty. That's a popular refrain from the other side. AS Who, as you
Isn't
heard
a
Dragon Ball
Wildcat-
say that Becca started her press conference with AS Who.
Isn't a small wildcat a cub?
A small wildcat? I don't know if I've ever heard of cubs being. I don't know if I've heard that. A cub is more of a bear, I think. Right?
Lion cub.
Lion cub.
Lion is a cub. So
Yeah.
like a lion offspring is a cub, and
Okay.
they're mountain lions, wildcats, that whole thing. So I don't know. Kitty, I don't think really applies anywhere in that, but get after it. School Up North.
Our guy Dan Levy was listening to the show earlier. We were talking about we have to get. We were doing the voice things for cricket, and he said I can go deeper than the Westwood One dude. So I told him, I was like, get me something for Cricket's Got Tickets. Get me that sounder. Appreciate Dan for checking in on the show from Los Angeles. You hear his voice all over our station. Dan Levy is our production guru. So good dude. Haven't had a chance to meet him in person yet, but his voice travels and travels well. All right, 2 hours from now, your Phoenix Suns are going to play the Los Angeles Clippers at the new Intuit Dome. I think I can watch. Yes, I can watch this game tonight because it's on national TV. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole with Xfinity and the Suns. Not yet. I may go down that rabbit hole next week when I can't watch a game, but I still have access. No access to the games unless there's something different. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't heard anything along that respect. And if I'm wrong, if you have Xfinity and you've heard that we have the Suns games this season, please let me know. I've not seen anything. I've not gotten anything. I'm hearing phones ringing back there, like regular phones. So, yeah, let me know if you think that we have the Suns games this year. Want to hear from Tyus Jones, though. He is the new point guard. What you got over there? You got something for me, J-Dub, or no? Okay. I didn't know if you had.
No, I was just pointing at the phone over here.
Oh, okay. Tyus Jones is the new point guard. We talked about him in the first hour. What made Phoenix the right fit for Tyus Jones?
Opportunity to win. Opportunity to win. I'm a competitor. I want to win, want to compete, want a chance to lead. And so the role that was offered up here, it's hard to pass up, just from conversations with Josh, with James, with Matt, with Coach Bud. They did a great job recruiting me, but ultimately the role for myself, I felt, the fit was perfect. It's crazy. From the outside looking in, obviously you look at the roster, it's a stacked roster, and I feel like my game complements all of their games as well and their skill sets, and I feel like the fit will be easy, and I'm really looking forward to sharing the court with the guys. Talking with Coach Bud, just how he envisions me, kind of fitting in, kind of being the orchestrator, being the playmaker, trying to make it, easier for Book, KD, Brad, and the rest of the guys, honestly, just kind of, facilitating, setting the table, and ultimately just doing what I do, and that's being a point guard and being a leader. Trying to make their job easy. I know they have, a lot on their plate when it comes to scoring the ball, leading, showing up every night, and everyone following their lead. So just trying to make their job easy. Last year, I know Book, Brad had to do a lot of playing the one, kind of facilitating, orchestrating the offense. The fact they can do that, but what they really do is put the ball in the basket. And so I know it's going to be up to me to put them in the right spots, kind of, put KD in the right spots, put Book in the right spot, put Brad in the right spot, everybody, just kind of orchestrate, set the table again. But they're ultimately going to make my job, very easy. And, I'm looking forward to it.
Earlier in the show, J-Dub was saying how many Duke guys. There's too many Duke guys. Obviously, Tyus Jones is one of those Duke guys. So who's the other? We got Tyus, Grayson. Is there
Plumlee. Yeah, they all play
Plumlee,
together.
that's right. Plumlee is a Duke guy as well. He signed a veteran minimum deal, 9-year vet. Mentioned last year he was with the absolutely dreadful Washington Wizards. We'll have to get our guy Joseph Blair on. Obviously, he played under Joseph. Joseph was an assistant coach at times, interim head coach for that Washington Wizards team for a number of the years that Tyus Jones would have been on the club. They won just 15 games last year, 15-67, and it was not a very good team. But as J-Dub mentioned, his floor IQ is just so high. Elite efficiency, averaged 7 assists per turnover in Washington. 7-1. 7-1 assist to turnover ratio. The highest assist to turnover ratio in NBA history. And Jones broke his own record. His actual was 7.35. His previous record was 7.02, and he had achieved that in the 21-22 season when he was with the Grizzlies.
Backup. He was a backup for a long time. Obviously, He started at his home state. He's from Minnesota, so he started with the Timberwolves, played there for 3 or 4 years. He was the de facto point guard there with the Grizzlies, but guess what? Ja Morant happened. So there was no more room for him there, and that's how he got shipped off, and last year played with the Wizards. But, yeah, I'm just really excited to see what he looks like up with the firepower scoring offense that those guys have with the Suns.
All right, Cricket is back with us. Cricket, we ask and we receive. Our guy, our big voice guy, Dan was listening to the show last hour when we were talking about we didn't have a Cricket's Got Tickets sounder, and maybe we would get the Westwood One guy. We were going, Cricket's Got Tickets. I don't know if you listened to the games on Thursday. Have you ever heard this guy's voice?
Yeah, I think
on
so.
Thursday and Sunday?
What's his name again?
I don't know what his name is.
If you gargle with gravel, you can get there.
I'm there?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
NFL on Westwood One. I mean, he's just like, he's got deep drawl. What did you say? How did you categorize it for this guy? You said last hour, I thought you said something like if he...
yeah, it's just the deeper and the lower.
Exactly.
I mean, I think it started with the movie guy, like, in a world, like that whole thing. But I think the NFL pregame has taken it to another level.
So Dan texts back. He said, I can go deeper than the Westwood One guy. That's what he said. So I said, well, get me a Cricket's Got Tickets sounder. And an hour later, we've got it. Let's hear it.
Cricket's Got Tickets.
That is fabulous. Can you do that one more time?
It's Halloween themed, I think.
I love that.
Cricket's Got Tickets.
That is fabulous.
Yes.
Very well done.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now we've got a sounder. It took us a year plus. All I got to do, I mean, it's like we should have had that a year ago.
Ask.
Exactly. We just had to ask. Man,
that's really good.
That is he did. Dan Levy went deep right there, boy. He went deep into the belly to get that.
That's
right
impressive.
there. Woo! My good. Yeah, I could never do that. I could never do that.
Thank you.
So now, next time we've got tickets, you'll hear that sounder. One more time, J-Dub.
Please.
One more time. Just for the people that...
Cricket's Got Tickets.
Yes,
I like
yes.
the boom.
It's like boom.
Boom.
It's in your face.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. Crickets.
Thank you, Dan.
Cricket's got traffic.
That I do from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center. It is Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. A little bit of slowdowns westbound side of I-10 approaching Ruthroff. We've got collisions, Sunrise and Swan, Golf Links and Kolb, and also Midtown, Fort Lowell and Alvernon. Weather-wise, our highs tomorrow around 94, 96 Friday, and about 99 this weekend. 90 now, and I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats.
Wildcats Radio 1290 and Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers, are proud to support the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Your Arizona Wildcats will take on West Virginia this Saturday at Arizona Stadium. Get all the info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
At Wildcats Radio 1290, we're not just radio. We're your source in Tucson for digital marketing solutions. We specialize in creating strategic and effective marketing campaigns designed to get results for your business. Whether you want to target a local, regional, or a national audience, we have the right solution for your business. Call the Wildcats Radio 1290 business line at 520-887-1000 and put Cumulus Digital Media to work for you.
I was working in the lot late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. Chris Holcomb came out and said to the guys, "Tucson's in for a big surprise.
It's now the Slash.
It's the O'Reilly Slash.
He did the slash.
It was a Halloween bash.
He did the slash.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the slash.
People saved lots of cash. So come to the place where the deals are hot. EVs and Silverados are what we've got. O'Reilly's competition is out of luck. They said, "Whatever happened to our Transylvanian trucks?" Come watch us slash prices. Together, let's drive to O'Reilly Chevrolet. When you test drive an EV today, you'll receive 2 tickets to Terror in the Corn. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or go to O'Reilly.com. Give me those keys, Igor, you impetuous fool.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. With less than 2 weeks before the new college basketball year begins, the Associated Press has released its All-American honors. Paige Beckers of UConn and Juju Watkins of USC were unanimous choices by the panel. This is the 3rd time Beckers has been named to the preseason squad. Joining them is Madison Booker of Texas, Notre Dame's Hannah Hidalgo, and Kiki Iriafen, who transferred from Stanford to USC for this season. The Trojans' duo of Watkins and Iriafen is a big reason why their team is ranked 3rd nationally to start the year. They are the first pair of teammates to be named preseason All-Americans since 2017. Head coach Lindsey Gottlieb will lean on her superstars as the program enters its first season of Big Ten competition.
To now have another National Player of the Year type candidate come and say, I want to play with Juju, we want to do this together, we want to bring the rest of the program along, I think says a lot.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Erica Herskowitz on Westwood One.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Your home, your family, your moments. First Alert is reminding you to be prepared and install smoke and carbon monoxide alarms on every level and in every bedroom of your home. Don't forget to add First Alert fire extinguishers on every level, plus the kitchen. And know how to use them. Protection is key to help protect life's moments, and First Alert is your partner through it all. Get fire safety you can trust by visiting firstalert.com and Lowe's stores today.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Dayton with the ball. Holmes out top, leave it for Cheeks. Top of the circle, has it knocked away by Love and a steal. Here goes Caleb the other way, drives on Cheeks to the bucket, lay it up and good, and the Cats take the lead.
Caleb Love, preseason All-American for the Arizona Wildcats, the number 10 team in the country. He was with his brothers, Jaden Bradley, KJ Lewis, and head coach Tommy Lloyd today in Kansas City for Big 12 Conference Media Day. We had a chance to hear from the head coach, Tommy Lloyd, and here are some of the things he had to say about not only his team, but Caleb Love and his return for what will be his 5th college basketball season.
The main thing is, I want him to be excited to play his 5th year in college basketball. He feels like he's probably been there for a minute, and his enthusiasm and his day-to-day work have been great. So that's the main thing I've really talked to him about. And then, on the court, I think if you come back for that extra year, you should really challenge yourself to grow in other areas. And those have been the conversations we've had with him is, maybe reshaping the way he plays a little bit. And he's been an incredible participant in that process. And I'm looking forward to seeing it show on the court. As far as specifics, the conversation Caleb and I have is, I want people to notice a difference. I don't want to talk about a difference. So, I'm excited for him to be able to showcase that. Obviously, we have a great schedule to start off with, and we're going to be playing in a lot of high-profile games, and hopefully people see a Caleb Love that's committed to a growth process and maybe doing a few different things out on the court.
Coach, we're going to go here to the middle on the front row.
Coach Matthew Postons, Heartland College Sports. Joining a new conference, there's a lot that goes into that, including learning 12 new teams. I'm curious about what process you're...
12?
12?
I thought there's 16
Well,
teams
12 new teams to you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're right.
Math is hard, I understand. What work did you and your staff put in this summer to get prepared for these new teams?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is you have to focus on yourself. And, you have to, onboard your new players and, kind of figure out the steps you want your veterans to take. So, the majority of our focus has been on ourselves and the things we need to feel like we need to do to be a team that's competitive nationally. I mean, that's the deal. And I think if you're competitive nationally, I think you're probably competitive within, even the Big 12 conference, which is, obviously very strong. We spend a little time looking at some of the programs and maybe to see if there's some general themes on either side of the ball that we needed to focus on and maybe spend more time, in those areas than maybe we had when we played in the Pac-12 where we were pretty familiar with all of our opponents. But to be honest with you, I think the main focus was just making sure our new guys were comfortable with the identity we want to play with and being able to showcase that on a nightly basis.
Okay, we're still on the left side here on the second row.
The University Daily Kansan. Coach, what do you think the big differences are between Pac-12 play and Big 12 play? Are there differences in the style of basketball, or is it just basketball?
I think the low-hanging fruit is people are probably going to talk about the physicality. I think one of the other things is, it sounds to me, and just, knowing college basketball the way I do, that most of these road games, it's going to be a sold-out, excited crowd. And, to be honest with you, we didn't get that on a nightly basis in the Pac-12. And, there's some nights in the Pac-12 we'd go and the gym wouldn't be completely full and over half the fans would be from Arizona. So, I'm sure the road games are going to be incredibly challenging. But we're a program that's tried to compare ourselves on a national level to other programs. So, these top programs are the Big 12, and are obviously great, and we're excited to be a part of it, and we're excited to prove that we belong.
Okay, Coach, we're going to go over here to the right.
Tommy, I think you're 49. I mean, Tony Bennett's 55, and just said these changes were a bit much, decided to walk away from the game. What do you think when you see something like that, someone who's dealing with these monumental changes in college basketball in real time?
Myron, thanks for announcing my age. I appreciate that. Every situation's different, and Tony Bennett's obviously a great coach, and I know him some, and he's a great man. And, I take him at his word when he didn't feel like he could give his team what it needed on a daily basis. And when you're a coach who cares, the way a lot of us coaches do, and if you don't feel like you can serve your team the way it needs to be served, it really eats at you. So I commend him for the decision he made that was best for himself. And, I've never been one that's really gotten caught up in all these changing times, because I think you can let that dominate your bandwidth. So nothing you're just looking for everything to change and sitting around and wanting to complain about it. That's not how I'm wired. I'm like, you tell me how the game's going to be played, and we're going to figure out a way to play that game, because this is what I know. I love coaching and teaching basketball. I have the opportunity of a lifetime at the University of Arizona, and I'm not going to let some outside distractions or changes in the game knock me off my path. So that's how I've approached it.
Okay, we're going to go over to your left, Coach, and about halfway back.
Hey, Tommy, Bruce Pascoe with the Arizona Daily Star. I was wondering, and you kind of addressed it a little bit, but does this building seem a little like T-Mobile in Las Vegas? And, and is that, with everything being so different coming ahead for you as far as fan environment, do you expect it?
Well, Bruce, first off, I thought you were suspended from questions today because you missed our exhibition game Monday night. Bruce is our beat writer, and he actually came out here Monday night, so he wasn't at our exit, so we didn't get our weekly press conference that we cherish. Listen, this is a great building. I played here years ago. When I was an assistant at Gonzaga, we played in a tournament out here, and I know my age is showing, thanks Myron, because I can only remember one of the teams we played. We played one of Frank Martin's really good Kansas State teams, and it was a knockdown, drag out, and we lost. And I just remember it was an incredible atmosphere. And I haven't got a feel for the venue, but I've seen it enough times on TV, and I know this place is going to come rocking. And our fans are excited. Traditionally we've had a lot of our fans really love to travel, and they've come to support us in our conference tournament, over the years and even before I got there. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Arizona, red and blue in the building as well.
More questions for Coach Lloyd? Okay, Coach.
You got a question back there?
Late hand.
Hey, Tommy, Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports. How are you?
Great, thank you.
With revenue sharing, do you have a number in mind within that $22 million that you need, dedicated to basketball to make it work?
Our athletic department, I think, is doing a great job, trying to be on the forefront of this stuff. This is what I know. Behind the scenes, when you talk to every one of us coaches has different information. So, I don't even know where to start. And, what you're going to be allowed to do, what it's going to look like. I'm trusting our people are doing a great job, because I think they are, and I think they're on it. And, of course, we've had those conversations on how things look. But, I don't think it's anything that, that we're going to share publicly, or, we're going to wait. Honestly, I'm a little bit more maybe pragmatic. I'm going to wait until I know what it's supposed to look like, and then we can try to figure it out from there rather than trying to guess. There's just so many changes right now. And again, I told you earlier, I'm not going to get caught up in it. You know what I need to worry about? Having a good practice tomorrow. That's the most important thing I can do for Arizona basketball right now is have a good practice tomorrow. And so that's where my focus is going to be.
Okay, we got time for one more, maybe. Okay, let's go here to second row in the middle.
Coach, when you talk about those road matchups, you think there's any road matchups that your teams are really, really jazzed up to go and play?
I mean, I know you're trying to get me to go, and we play at Wisconsin the third game of the year. I'm assuming that's where you're trying to get me to go. We're fired up to play at Wisconsin the third game of the year. We got Point Loma coming in on Monday, and you know what? Point Loma is a great Division II program, and I had heard they just beat a Division I team in a scrimmage. So, we're going to be geared up for that. And it's no lack of respect for anybody. Guys, I'm simple. What's next? What's now? What's next? That's literally what I'm focused on. And I'm not surprised one bit that Arizona's playing on the road at Kansas to finish the regular season in the Big 12 in their first year. And when it came out, I kind of smiled. There's some senior coaches in this league that, to be honest with you, are guys I really look up to. And I have no problem with those guys calling the shots. And, we're here to be part of it. And, if Arizona has to play on the Kansas only one time the first year on the road at Kansas, so be it.
All right, that is the head coach of your Arizona men's basketball team. Bruce Pascoe's already in trouble. He was not.
I think he's been in trouble since day one, pretty much.
That's awesome, man. That is so Tommy Lloyd
in a friendly
manner. Exactly, to call out Bruce for going to Kansas City a little bit. And we were wondering where Bruce was after the game on Monday night. We were like, oh, he's not here. He's like, somebody said, yeah, he's already in Kansas City. And so
just advanced scout for the barbecue joints. You wanted to take everybody else from the Tucson media too.
I mean, yeah, that is where the tournaments will be. I'll take 2 weeks of barbecue if we do that again, like we did with the Pac-12 in Las Vegas next year, for sure. It won't be maybe as warm, but that's okay. It wasn't all that warm in Las Vegas either last February. So thoughts on what you heard from there? Interesting. He kind of touched on we talked about it yesterday with Tony Bennett, and he touched on that as well. Not much of an age difference there between the two. Tony a little bit older than Tommy. I think Tommy has not yet hit 50, coming up on his 50th birthday. But he's like, hey, I'm not letting all this BS deter me from what I love to do. And every guy's gonna be different on how they approach this, how they look at it, how they deal with it. It's going to affect some guys, better than others, and clearly Tommy's one of those guys that can let things kind of roll off his chest, and he just moves on to the next thing, and he feels like he and his staff and this university have a handle on the business of what they need to do. But it's very. I saw something today. I don't know if you saw this, J-Dub. BYU, I guess, they're looking at the number one recruit in the country.
He's been looking at them for a couple years now, yeah.
And they're talking about $3 to $4 million.
I saw 4.5 is what I saw. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and what I'm reading is that that Danny Ainge has got a hand in that, and then they're hell bent on making BYU one of the top programs in the country.
I mean, the whole, I have a lot of relatives who are part of that community, and the whole purpose of that tithings and whatnot, there's quite a lot of money behind the church, right? So, I mean, I don't know how that works and how that NIL fund relative to, being funded by the church at large, but they've always loved athletics up there. So I'm not surprised, and I know they've been talking about him potentially coming there for a while. Back to Coach Lloyd really quick. My favorite people, DK, in my whole life are the people who don't change their answers and their emotions based on the crowd that they're talking to. And they're just always the same. And Coach Lloyd has been the same since his first opening press conference. He's not interested in talking about a game from 3 months from now. He's not interested in talking about the landscape of NIL and how that'll affect the University of Arizona men's basketball team over the course of the next 5 seasons. He wants to talk about how his team looks in practice right now. He wants to talk about his next opponent. He's never changed. He's always been that way, and there's nothing but respect for that. He is exactly who he says. It's right on the tin, DK, and that's who Coach Lloyd. And I'm glad that the Big 12 media gets a chance to experience that, because those answers are going to be the same for a lot of those same questions.
On to Point Loma.
Exactly.
As they say, on to Point Loma. DK on the Sports Tip. We've got one segment left with you. You can still get in on the program today, 848-1290, 520-848-1290. Don't forget, we are going to be at Illegal Pete's coming up on Friday. Bear Down Fridays, as always, on University Boulevard, the corner of University and Tyndall. We'll be out there from 3 to 6, getting you ready for the Wildcats and West Virginia at Arizona Stadium Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock. Temperatures expected to be in the high 90s. Yay! Our appearance at Illegal Pete's is sponsored by Corona, for fans of the fine life, or as we like to say, La Vida Más Fina. Corona, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported Grant Road and Craycroft, St. Mary's east of Silver Bell. Swan and Sunrise Drive also crashed Golf Links and Kolb Road. And up north in Oro Valley, Oracle and Calle Concordia. Weather-wise, highs near 94 tomorrow, 96 on Friday, about 99 this weekend. 90 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Plumbing, they'll help you with drain cleaning, water treatment, sewer repairs, and replacements. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected plumbing experts at coolwillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's coolwillies.com. coolwillies.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to support your Arizona Wildcat football team as they continue their season with another home game this Saturday at Arizona Stadium.
This week, the Cats take on West Virginia. Kickoff is scheduled for 4 o'clock.
To get your tickets, visit ArizonaWildcats.com or call 621-CATS. For more University of Arizona Wildcat football, including a complete schedule and link to buy tickets online, log on to WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Online, on your phone with the Freedom 1400 app, on your smart speaker, or on the air. No matter how you listen. Join Brian Kilmeade for his insightful commentary and engaging discussions from 6 to 9 a.m. Keep the conversation going with Dan Bongino from 9 to noon for his straight talking analysis. Then catch Chris Plant from noon to 3 and Jimmy Fela from 3 to 6 for more thought-provoking discussions and hilarious moments. Conservative talk for Tucson is Freedom 1400 a.m.
Bingo. All right, Phil, we're recording now. And please put your phone on silent.
Oh, where is my phone?
Let's go, man.
Okay.
Get it together over there, player. Go ahead. Pick on me the way that you want to.
I wouldn't say that to my son.
Just go.
All right, why would people want to listen to the Sims Complete podcast?
A father-son dynamic duo talking about the game of football.
We do a lot of quarterback and coach talks. It's fun. I love doing this. It's been awesome.
Sims Complete. Check us out on the Believe Network. Appreciate it.
Just search Believe, B-L-E-A-V, wherever you listen.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids Chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids Chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product. Just download the Sleeper app today. Must be present in certain states. Visit sleeper.com for details. Robert Kraft said he decided 5 years ago that Gerard Mayo would one day replace Bill Belichick. And 7 games in, Mayo was 1-6 while calling his team soft, and the Pats are an undisciplined football team both on and off the field. Even with low expectations to start the year, the Gerard Mayo era so far has been embarrassing, and it makes me wonder why Kraft didn't handpick Mike Vrabel to replace Bill instead. I'm Zach Gelb.
Football is back. And what better way to celebrate than winning some cash with Sleeper Picks? Sleeper Picks is a fantasy game, but you could win real money. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If your picks are right, you win. You could pick up to 8 players to win up to 100 times your money. And Sleeper has a couple huge offers to kickstart the football season. For new users, Sleeper will match your first deposit with up to $100 credit to your account. If you've already played, Sleeper's got discounted player projections for you every week of the season. So download the Sleeper app now and use promo code BLOCK, and your first deposit will be doubled with a credit up to $100. What are you waiting for? Download Sleeper today and use code BLOCK for a credit up to $100 match on your first deposit. That's code BLOCK. Must be 18 years in most states and in state where it is legal. Promo code and other restrictions apply. Visit sleeper.com. Please wager responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. One last chance for you to do so. We have been talking about the passing of Fernando Valenzuela, the legendary Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher. Obviously, he pitched for a number of other teams, ended his career with the Cardinals, did wear some other uniforms beside the Los Angeles Dodgers, but always will be remembered as being the crafty left-hander, dominant in his rookie year in 1981. Cy Young Award and Rookie of the Year, only pitcher to ever do that, and did so at the age of 20. But really had some success later in his career as well. And I remember being in school in the 1990s, the early 90s, 1990s per se, out in Los Angeles when he was back in the uniform and twirling spectacular in the Dodger blue with Vin Scully in the booth to make it all happen.
And so it has come to this. We go to the 9th inning here at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers 6 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. The Cardinals no runs, no hits, and 3 errors. It is the 29th of June. In case someday, long from now, Fernando is playing this back to his grandchildren. And Vince Coleman will start it off. Coleman, talking about a spell being broken, is hitting .300. He has a 10-game hitting streak of his own on the line. The crowd trying to will Fernando to get an out, and the 2-2 pitch is strike 3 called. Outside corner as Coleman ran up as if to bunt, and he and Jerry Lane, the plate umpire, are nose to nose. But Coleman has struck out 3 times, and more importantly, Fernando has only 2 outs to go. Fernando ready, and the strike 2 pitch is hit back to the box, dribbling to second. Samuel on the bag, throws to first, double play. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter at 10:17 in the evening of June the 29th, 1990. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Nobody called the game better than the late, great Vin Scully. I remember that summer vividly. I stayed in Los Angeles that summer. That was the summer after my graduation from the University of Southern California. And I remember we kind of got word, like you do most nights, 5th, 6th inning, that, you know, Fernando's got a no-hitter, and you had to get to a TV to see the end of it. And what a way to finish it. Again, this was 9 years later after he came on the scene as a Los Angeles Dodger in his last season as a Dodger because they would release him prior to spring training the next year. But let's give you a little bit more and celebrate the life of Fernando Valenzuela. Here is your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
And Fernando Valenzuela, as you can imagine, again, a long career. 1980 was his first year in the big leagues with the Dodgers. 81 was that phenomenal rookie season. Finished it up in 1997 with the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's remember and hear a little bit about the fabulous career in the major leagues by one Fernando Valenzuela.
There are some things that make sports enjoyable which don't have anything to do with which team won or lost. There are the great characters produced in sports, and this season's great character is a young fellow named Fernando Valenzuela, who has produced a kind of baseball fever known as Fernando Mania.
America in 1981 was a place and time when the pages in a folktale turned at the right pace. Faster than the evening paper, slower than a tweet, with space to soak in the wonder in every chapter.
It's a fairy tale so preposterous, Dodger fans dare not open their eyes. El Nino is Fernando Valenzuela.
Fernando Mania was more than one of the best stretches of pitching in baseball history.
Did you take notice? Sold out tonight. Valenzuela's pitching.
It was an experience without compare, before or in the 4 decades since. A singular story that becomes more transcendent each time we tell it.
1981 will be the year of Fernando Valenzuela.
The left-hander from Echahuaquila, Mexico, captivated Los Angeles and ultimately the country with his extraordinary pitching, one-of-a-kind wind-up, and unassuming way.
And of course here today, a lot of folks have come in just to see the Mexican phenom Fernando Valenzuela, and why not? He's the hottest subject in baseball.
Fernando Valenzuela won his first 8 major league starts, the longest such streak since the end of World War II.
Struck him out, it's all over, and Valenzuela did it again.
His ERA was .50, an all-time record through that many starts.
Perhaps such early season hysteria could only be born in Hollywood. What else can be said but Viva Valenzuela?
The phenomenon began by accident, which was part of the charm. All-star left-hander Jerry Royce was supposed to start the Dodgers' 1981 opener, but strained a calf muscle during batting practice. So Tommy Lasorda summoned the 20-year-old Valenzuela. The result? A shutout victory.
Valenzuela delivers, through ball, got it swinging. What a way to start. Fernando Valenzuela in his first big league start pitches a shutout.
Valenzuela spun 4 shutouts before the end of April. No major league pitcher has thrown that many in a season since Felix Hernandez in 2012. And while Fernando Mania began in April, the fascination reached its apex in May. In those years, it was said, rather earnestly, that for sports history to be made, the New York press had to witness it. Thus, Valenzuela's May 8th start, a Friday night at Shea Stadium, was a bona fide baseball event.
And once again, a large crowd has come out, full of the question, is he for real?
Valenzuela, who hailed from a town of fewer than 1,000, had made it to Broadway. And nearly 40,000 New Yorkers witnessed yet another shutout by a 1-0 score.
Popped in the air, foul, and Fernando has his 5th shutout. Unbelievable.
As Valenzuela returned home for his next 2 starts, Dodger Stadium was changing. Chavez Ravine had been a Mexican-American neighborhood before the ballpark's construction forced the relocation of area residents. The relationship between the team and LA's Latino community was fraught. But in Fernando, Mexican-American fans saw a superstar who was one of their own.
I think that Fernando Valenzuela
is the best. He's the greatest, and I think everybody here has Fernando fever.
It's a legend of Los Angeles baseball that Vin Scully's broadcasts were audible everywhere in the ballpark through a chorus of transistor radios. On nights Fernando pitched, Hall of Fame announcer Jaime Jairin's Spanish narration carried the melody in many sections.
Acercándose a la gloria, Fernando Valenzuela.
The enchanted 81 season began with Valenzuela pitching 9 innings in each of his first 8 starts, and ended with the Dodgers' first World Series title since the heroics of another left-hander in 1965. Valenzuela capped his historic season with the National League Cy Young and Rookie of the Year awards. No other pitcher has earned both honors in the same year before or since.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
And, of course, that other legendary left-hander that the announcer there was referring to was the great Sanford Koufax, a.k.a. Sandy, who pitched for the Dodgers for 12 seasons between 1955 and 1966. Fernando was on 6 teams in the big leagues. I gave you 2 of them. The Dodgers to begin, the Cardinals to end. Can you name me 2 of the other ones, J-Dub, that he pitched for? Of the
it's a little before
16.
my time, but didn't everybody pitch for the Reds?
Not Fernando.
In that era?
Not Fernando. I'll give you.
Let's see. Who did you say? Dodgers and who else?
I'll give you a hint. Three of the other 4 teams that he pitched for were in the postseason this year.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he pitched for the Yankees.
No.
I don't think he pitched. I don't know. You'll have to tell me.
He started with the Dodgers 80 to 90, the Angels 91, Baltimore 93. That was the year they won the World Series. I don't know that he was a part of that playoff team, though. Phillies 94, Padres 95, 97, and then the Cardinals to end his career in 97.
I do remember his stint with. I do remember reading that he was with the Padres. I should have gotten that one.
Fernando Valenzuela, gone at the age of 63, a member of the Mexican Professional Baseball Hall of Fame.
There's nothing been anything like that, right? I mean, Linsanity was not the same because it was only a very short, brief window of like a month, and he wasn't a rookie either, right? I don't think he was a rookie. So to have a 20-year-old rookie come in, win the Cy Young, win the Rookie of the Year, win the World Series, I was 7, I think, at the time. So I don't really have a vivid memory myself, but having followed sports pretty closely since then, can't think of any comparison to Fernando Mania in 81.
That is going to wrap up our show for today. I'd like to thank everybody that joined us. We had Desiree Reed-Francois. We had Avery Scoggins. Thanks to Cricket. Thanks to J-Dub. Thanks to Dragon Ball. My name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, 3 o'clock, short show, NFL Thursday Night Football. But we'll be with you leading into that from 3 to 4:30. It's DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290. Have a great night, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions at a reported Sahuarita and Wilmot and Sahuarita Road, some slowing at the intersection. Ina to the east of Oracle at Ina and westward Look Drive. 12th and Valencia and 12th Avenue, also clearing Oracle and Calle Concordia, St. Mary's east of Silver Bell, also Grant Road and Craycroft. And I'm Cricket, and your weather looking at highs around 94 tomorrow, 96 Friday, 99 this weekend, 89 now. And that's your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month wraps up, remember to update your software to fix security issues that identity thieves exploit to steal personal info. And for comprehensive identity theft protection, choose LifeLock. Start your 30-day free trial today at lifelock.com/cybersafety.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Hey, what you reading, Marty?
Just about the sheriff's race. I like Heather Lappin. She has served nearly 20 years in the sheriff's department and will decrease crime by increasing patrols.
I know Heather. She was on the news fighting for reform.
Yeah, Heather Lappin is endorsed by nearly every local law enforcement group.
What about her opponent?
Chris Nanos' office was investigated regarding a sexual assault case. Also, the misuse of funds.
Nanos sounds like bad news. I'm voting for Heather Lappin for sheriff.
Political ad paid for by Heather Lappin for sheriff. Authorized by Heather Lappin.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
My drains are clogged again. What should I do? Don't let those clogged drains scare you. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has a $79 drain and faucet diagnostic service special. We'll get you back in the flow. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Three little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those three words into these three words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, and soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Three little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those three words into these three words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The Colorectal Cancer Alliance is a one-stop resource you can trust. Go straight there. Just get to the website.
Go to the Alliance. Go to colorectalcancer.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona basketball. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. You're listening to the JR Sport Brief.
It is the JR Sport Brief Show here with you coast to coast on the Infinity Sports Network. I'm coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. Much love and many thanks to everybody tuned in and locked in all over North America. I hope you are well. I'll be hanging out with you for